Edinburgh is a city steeped in stories, from fascinating folklore to ancient myth. Just take a walk around the city and you'll find an abundance of unicorns adorning the architecture. You'll not be short of ghost stories either. And in this quiet graveyard, you'll discover the inspiration for Lord Voldemort and Professor McGonagall. There's a monument to the heartwarming story of Greyfriars Bobby, who stood guard at his owner's grave for 14 years after his death, or the lone piper who haunts the Royal Mile. And our very own volcano has links to the dragons and the knights of King Arthur. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Come find the magic. Edinburgh is the UK's greenest city. Not that we want to make everyone green with envy. There's a space here for everyone, from high escapes to cosy glens, from secret gardens to old railway paths. There's beaches to comb and parks to play in, hills to climb and adventures to begin. Discover panoramic city views as you climb Edinburgh's extinct volcano. Edinburgh's a city for walkers, hikers, bikers, runners, thinkers, ramblers. Discover a new path today. Edinburgh, the story never ends. Edinburgh is a city shaped by water. You can follow the waters from the Pentland Hills right through the city to the Firth of Forth. There's beaches and bridges and boats to see. There's stories to find at the Roman settlement and the old bunker on Cramond Island. Just follow the water and you'll find a story. Edinburgh, the story never ends.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to session 5 at Royal Commonwealth Pool. Just before we get underway, your attention for the health and safety.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Royal Commonwealth Pool here in the heart of Edinburgh. We are here for session 5, second session of the Saturday of this 3-day event. My name's Paul Noble. We'll be taking you through the action this afternoon. I'm joined in the commentary position by Duncan McKinnell. Duncan, it's been a while since we've been on the live stream together.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to this session, Paul. I think it's going to be good fun. There's lots of talented swimmers this afternoon. We're running through a very busy program this afternoon, so lots to look forward to. That's what you've got. What stands out for you there? 400 IMs, 800 freestyles for both the men and the women. Lots of sprints as well, backstroke and freestyle for the men, breaststroke for the women.
Yeah, a bit of a mixture. I'm going to put it out here straight away, Duncan. I quite like the 800 freestyles. I don't mind that at all.
Well, I guess it depends whether you've got a competitive 800 free or whether you've got, if you've got somebody a length ahead of second place and then another length ahead to third place, so it becomes slightly less interesting.
I look at the splits and I look at how people are progressing and what the times they're achieving and stuff like that. You know, it's very much an individual race sometimes. The 800
so 8 versus 15, what wins?
Well, 50. Oh, right. I think maybe the 8. No, the 15 was good last night. I thought Daniel Whiffen did a great job tonight. We saw his brother in the 800 this morning. And some of of course, the younger swimmers this afternoon, a lot of juniors on show. And that's always the opportunity for swimmers to make good improvements on their entry times. That's what we like to see.
We have junior finals tonight, and there's going to be lots of openings for juniors to progress from this afternoon's heats into the junior finals, or maybe the A and the B final. You never know. We saw, what was it, Ellen Walsh yesterday?
Yeah, Ellen Walsh.
Your favourite.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Ellen Walsh. She has been in great form.
Oh, we have
someone
a very nice man come round to us just now.
We just wish
with
that
tablet.
I'm going to take another bit, actually.
Courtesy of Portobello's Andy May, famous for his tablet production. So big shout out to Andy May of Portobello. He might not get the box back the way things are going here. Big mistake to give it to the commentary position.
Well, that's been a nice start to the session, Duncan. We've been delivered some pieces of tablet there.
Yep.
And here is the lineup for this first heat, the one and only heat of the 400 metres individual medley. Cameron Doran goes in lane number 1, City of Glasgow. Thomas Traynor from East Kilbride in 2. Nathan Campbell, Stirling Swim in 3. We have Kyle Mitchell from Geary in 4. Jake Holmes, City of Glasgow in 5. Orlando Deering, City of Peterborough in 6. Greg Hall from Aberdeen Performance in 7. And Charlie Ward from the Borough of Stockton in lane number 8. I think they're just waiting for the appointed start time before we can get underway for this one and only heat. Times ranging from 4:54.70 to just over the 5-minute mark. Be nice to see these swimmers all get under the 5-minute mark, and I was going to say it's pretty much 6 out of the 8 swimmers are from Scotland, 2 from England, and it's nice to see a Geary swimmer in the middle lane. We got used to that with Hannah Miley when she swam for Geary for many years.
Yeah, well, Geary have really come on with their distance swimming. They've got a good number of both boys and girls on distance events now, and Kyle Mitchell in the yellow cap is one of them, and he's 17 this year, and he is off to a pretty decent start. We did have 8 juniors swimming this morning. All these swimmers are juniors, 18 and under for the boys. I tell you, if they get inside 5:05, then they've got a chance for the second swim. So we'll see as this progresses whether they can do that sort of time. Nathan Campbell, the early leader. He goes from Stirling Swimming, 18-year-old, so at the top end of the junior ranks. And he is certainly having a good butterfly to start off. We did see quite a few back and forwards, didn't we, from stroke to stroke this morning.
Yeah, we did. The breaststroke, always very important. I like these split times that we're getting there on the bottom of our screen on the graphics as well, because it does show you how people are progressing through the race. So you see that Nathan Campbell's taken almost a second out of the field on that previous 50. So if we we're looking at it, we're not sure for the naked eye if the gap is decreasing or not. We can tell by the split time, so it's really good to have that on our graphics and keep a track on how the swimmers are going. Nathan Campbell going pretty well here.
It looks like, is he being caught? Let's just see what the progressive times are. Yes, I'm right. 37.5 for Kyle against 38.1 for Nathan. So the gap now just down to a second. Halfway through the backstroke, and it's still continuing to close. Third place down at the bottom of your screen. That's Cameron Doran of City of Glasgow, and he's got Thomas Traynor next to him. East Kilbride, another program that produces good endurance swimmers under head coach Andy Figgins. But it is Geary and Sterling just about side by side now. In fact, the Geary swimmer just edging into the lead. Kyle Mitchell to 18.63.
Yeah, he took a second, just over a second out of Nathan Campbell on that last 50 there. So he just leads them in the breaststroke. So vitally important in a 400 individual medley and in a 200 as well, but maybe more so in the 400. And straight away, Nathan Campbell gets up and into his stroke. And just kind of pulling away half a body length lead now on the yellow cap, Kyle Mitchell. And Thomas Traynor coming back into contention.
Yes, he's going well in lane 2, but as you said, Nathan Campbell, having been caught in the backstroke, is just rebuilding his lead now in the breaststroke, a body length up halfway through it. You see that was a 43.3 for him, a 45.0 for Kyle, but look at that, Thomas Traynor, 42.0. He's coming storming back.
He certainly is, look at this, he's on the feet now of Kyle Mitchell. This one and only heat of this 400 IM this afternoon. 5:05 was the target, Duncan, 5:05.47 to try and make another swim tonight.
Yep, so let's see if maybe all three of these could threaten for that. But it's certainly been to and fro in this from stroke to stroke. And very often the one that's got the momentum from the breaststroke takes that through into the freestyle. We'll see if that happens here. It's going to be Nathan by maybe a metre from Thomas. 3:46.6 against 3:47.5, so less than a second in it. Kyle Mitchell certainly not out of things either.
Now we'll see how the freestyle goes for these three. It was good, two good breaststroke legs there for Nathan Campbell and for Thomas Traynor. Kyle Mitchell trying to come back with that yellow cap with the two in front of him. Again, we'll see from the splits whether he's closing or not. It does look like Kyle Mitchell has got the edge, but Thomas Traynor is really close by in lane number 2.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be between these two. Now, good race going on for fourth there up at the top of your screen. You can see there with Orlando Deering just edging that one. But at the front, that was a nice turn from Nathan, and that's given him the edge, I think, to hold off Thomas Traynor. One last push from Kyle Mitchell in lane 4, but it does look like Nathan Campbell, the Sterling swimmer, has got the advantage here. He came into this in a 4:55. You can see the clock just going into the 4:50, so he's going to be around that mark, and he takes it in 4:55.44. That will definitely get him into the junior final tonight. So nicely done from Nathan. 4:57.22 and 4:57.78. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see all three of them swimming again later. Just trying to do a bit of working out, and I think we will. I think that will knock out some of the swimmers from this morning from the junior final. So 3 great swims there. Yes, that was a good race, wasn't it, to start us off?
3 of them there, all side by side. Let's see what we're going to get in this 800. 2 800s now to follow. Settle back for this one.
It's your favourite event?
It is. I never swum many 800s. But I think I would have been quite good. It was one that I would have liked to have done.
Never in the para program?
No, it was. It was 1 year, but I was kind of too old for it by the time they introduced it at the World Champs.
You're too old for an 800.
I was too old for an 800, yeah. I couldn't handle it at that point. It was when I was at my peak, the longest the para program went was 400. So that was what we concentrated on. I think it was in one of the early World Championships, so I could have done it, but it wasn't in the Paralympic Games, so we decided not to. But
Paul
I think I would have been good at it.
Para legend, of course, and there is nothing that Paul Noble does not know about para swimming, so listen out for him at the Para Worlds later this year. I'm hoping we'll have Paul commentating there.
Yeah, we hope so. Para International meet next week in Sheffield. Starts on Thursday, so I'm going down there midweek. Train strikes permitting. I should manage to get there.
Otherwise, they'll have to screen it to your home like they did during lockdown.
Oh, goodness, yeah. Did you do any remote stuff during lockdown,
No,
Duncan?
not for me.
No, you just had a holiday.
Absolutely.
From the commentary.
Yeah, forgot how to do it.
Yeah, well, it was it was very interesting. We had some lockdown remote commentary, and it was an experience, but I think it worked well actually. This remote commentator, but we're here in person at the venue here at the Commonwealth Pool for this first heat of the 800. Just go through the swimmers. We haven't done that yet.
No, good idea.
But yeah, Louise Connell from City of Glasgow, closest to us. As you're watching it on the live stream, lane 1 is at the bottom and lane 8 will be at the top. And those two middle lanes, the yellow lanes, will be 4 and 5, 4 being closest to us. So Louise Connell goes in lane 2 from City of Glasgow. Lexine McCappin from first goes in 3. Kate Nolan, Warren de Baths. That familiar red cap goes in lane 4. Mia McLeod from Swim It in lane number 5. Lucy Atherton from Heart of Midlothian in 6. And Ayla Cochrane from City of Glasgow in 7. This is a good contest here in this 800. 4 swimmers all in a row.
Yep, nice to see. Looking pretty good. Ayla Cochrane in lane 7 on the outside there. She had a good swim at Tollcross recently in the West District Championships, was a couple of seconds faster than she's entered on here, and she does have the lead, 2:20.63 at the 200. But as you say, there's 4 still very much in the mix, and it's City of Glasgow swimmers on either end of the pool. There's Louise Connell is right up there in lane 2, the 16-year-old from City of Glasgow. She also did her time at West Districts at Tollcross. And then going nicely in lane 5 is the Swim It swimmer, Mia McLeod. Swim It based in West Lothian. And she is right there. You can see there, 2:57.4 up to 2:58.5 for the top 3. And Kate Nolan pretty close as well, 2:59.1. And you see there, Ayla Cochrane just a little bit faster on her intermediate split there, 36.8. Going up in lane 7 there, but we had a great 400 IM. It looks like we're going to have a really good first heat of 800 freestyle here.
Yeah. I was just thinking that 800 that you had this morning, was that a dead heat?
Yeah.
In that 800, you don't see that often. The
9
800
minutes of swimming.
Yeah.
And not separated at all. So Ayla Cochrane then at 300, 3:34.31, just upping her lead now. She's pacing, you can see, nearly a second faster per length than the others. So that's around just under a 1:13 for her third 100. And she is starting to open the gap up here, Paul.
Yeah, she certainly is. She's got clear water between her and the rest of the fields. And the City of Glasgow 1 and 2, but they might be being caught by the swimmers in the middle here. It's Mia McLeod and Kate Nolan. So 3 swimmers all going over almost together there. But Ayla Cochrane still has that lead, still pacing a little bit faster than the other 3 there. Louise Connell and Kate Nolan, just a couple of tenths behind, but it does look like Ayla Cochrane is maintaining that lead. Coming down to the halfway point now. And the entry times, Ayla Cochrane 9:52.90, so we'll get a good indication of where we are when we hit this bottom end now at the 400. Let's have a check of the splits. 37.3. Yeah, she's opened another half-second advantage there. Ayla Cochrane, Louise Connell in second position, just a couple of seconds behind now, but Ayla Cochrane looking pretty good here. City of Glasgow 1 and 2. Those red caps. Blue caps even for City of Glasgow. I'm thinking about Warren there and talking about City of Glasgow. we go.
Oh, you better be careful about that
I
if
know,
you
yeah.
head 40 miles west down the M8. So, yeah, it is Ayla Cochrane continuing to look strong here, although Louise Connell there just slightly faster on that last 50, 37.3 against 37.9. I can tell you the fastest junior this morning was Susie McNair, a Sterling swimmer, did a 9.19. In fact, exactly the same pace. We talked about the ties. That was the tie, I think, 9.19.03. Susie McNair and Phoebe Arbuckle, both of them juniors. So at the moment, they are tied for the junior title.
I mean, we've seen swim-offs over this weekend before. Have you ever seen a swim-off? I think, did we get a swim-off in the Commonwealth Games for 800? I can't remember
We did.
what the outcome was.
We absolutely did. I remember that the Scot lost. I remember that. Very sadly.
But it was, of course, in the big competitions. I think there was a little bit of a debate because obviously there was 8 lanes in the final at Tollcross's Commonwealth Games back in 2014. But there's obviously the pool has 10 lanes, but the competition finals always conducted over 8. And it was a debate: do they do the swim off or do they just add another lane for the final? But that's quite hard going. A couple of 800s, probably in the same day as well. Or was it the next morning?
I think it was the next day from memory, yes. But I think the problem that they had was that you could see in this pool, you've got those green lane ropes on the edge of the pool, and Tollcross then didn't have those. So it was seen that there would be a disadvantage because you get that wash back from the side of the pool. So it wouldn't be fair to use lanes 0 and 9 in a major competition. So I think that was the decision as to why they had to have a swim-off. But
so they didn't have that outside lane.
Yeah.
It's the same. There's a rule in para-swimming as well, where if there's visually impaired swimmers, you have to have an outside lane in there, just because of the safety aspect for the visually impaired swimmer.
So through 600 metres now, 7:21.62, and Ayla is not shaking the field off here. Louise Connon, and watch out for Lexi McCappin. We haven't talked about her, and she is pushing on very nicely. Also in the blue cap there from the first team, that's Falkirk based, and still up there as well in the red cap is Kate Nolan from Warrender. Of course, she'll be doing a lot of her training here at the Commonwealth Pool. Did you ever feel there was such a thing as home pool advantage?
In international events or just like general events like in Glenrothes or whatever, where I swam most of my time in the old Fife Institute there. Yeah, I liked swimming there. I think I did. I liked swimming there. I didn't particularly like swimming here in the Commonwealth because I never seemed to compete very well in the Commonwealth, although we didn't compete here very often. But it was always at the wrong time of year because the season was always, the competitions were always based to the able-bodied seasons, and the para-swims were always a little bit later, the major events. So I was never on form when we came to swim here in the big events like the Summer Nationals, whatever. But yeah, I liked swimming. I liked swimming in my home pool. It's familiar surroundings. You knew where you were.
So 100 to go, 8:36 for Ayla, and then 3 swimmers all on 8:39s there, lanes 2, 3 and 4. Louise Connell, Lexi McCappin, and Kate Nolan has maybe just edged into second. I think she's going to struggle to catch Ayla Cochrane now. She has dominated pretty much, although she's not got a long way clear, but she's always been fairly safely clear, really, since about 200 metres. So 50 to go for her, 9:14.07, a 37.1. You can see Kate Nolan has put in a good last or penultimate length there, 36.2, but she is still 2 seconds back. So, well, it's asking a lot. Louise Connell working hard now down this last length as well. I think they are slightly catching, but Ayla Cochrane surely has this in hand up in lane 7, and she will set the standard for the heat that's to come. Can she bring this one to a close? There we focus down on her as she goes into the red zone and finishes off in 9:49.37. Entered on 9:52.9, so that's a nice improvement there. She did a 9:50, as I said earlier, at Tollcross, so improves on that as well. So good stuff for Ayla there. 9:50.98, good last 100 from Kate Nolan to secure second. And in third, Louise Connell, just ahead of Lexi McCappin. So, well, we had a good 400 IM. That was a pretty cracking 800 freestyle there.
It was, and Ayla Cochran had a little bit left in the tank just to keep her ahead of the fast finishing Kate Nolan at the end there. And nice to see her dip under that 9:50 mark. She'll be delighted with that one. Here's the lineup for the next heat. Jessica Thomas from Borough of Stockton. Closest to us in lane 1, Caris Mooney from City of Glasgow. In lane 2, Adia Salaku from Derventio. In lane 3, Tegan Black, East Lothian. In 4, we have Alice Forrest from Derwentside. In lane number 5, Cara Gordon from Stirling Swim. In 6, Shay Stewart from Nova Centurion. In 7, and Georgia Dickey from Dumfries in lane number 8. Again, we're getting to recognise some of the names from yesterday. Swimming a number of events. We had some swimmers who had a really brutal schedule this morning. Was it 800 freestyle, 200 butterfly, 400 IM? My goodness.
Yep, no rest for these swimmers. Obviously have been wicked in a former life. So leading the way here, Alice Forrest of Derwentside. It's a bit of an English presence in this heat. One from Derventio, one from Derwentside, one from Nova Centurion, up against 5 Scots, Glasgow, East Lothian, Stirling, and Dumfries. I missed out Borough Stockton, so it's 4 from England, 4 from Scotland. 105.53 at the 100. Early leader Alice Forrest, Derwentside, 14-year-old, so one of the youngest swimmers. Adia Salaku of Derventio, also a 14-year-old. Going in lane 3.
Yeah, these two, it's almost in sync there as they went up past the halfway point, up towards the 150. And lane number 5 and lane number 7 leads them through. Alice Forrest and Shay Stewart absolutely together. They turn just 0.1 apart. And again, you can see the splits there. These two, well, 34.9 for Shay Stewart, 35.0 for Alice Forrest, and that's why they've gone ahead of the rest of the field, about a second advantage over the others. It's pretty close for third position. Caris Mooney going well in lane number 2, but these leading two are absolutely together here, and they're stroking pretty much at the same pace. Let's see what the split is for that 50 as they go over absolutely together. Yeah, 0.1 of a second separating them in terms of that last split, and 0.02 separating them as they go over the turn at the 200. Well, this is a contest for us.
Yeah, they're about 5 seconds faster than the leading split from the first heat. So these two going very nicely. Lane 2, Caris Mooney at City of Glasgow in 3rd place. And then it's pretty close behind her, but well, at the moment it's a head-to-head. Forrest and Stewart, 251.37, 251.45. So, as you said, almost synchronized here between the two of them, stroking very similarly. Maybe a bit more legs from Shay in lane 7. Although as soon as I said that, we started to see the legs going from Alice Forrest.
Obviously tuning into us.
You really shouldn't be listening to the live stream while you're swimming. Not best advice. Look at that, absolutely together at the 300. 326.87, 327.08, 2/10 the gap.
Yeah, Caris Mooney in 3rd spot, but some 5 seconds back from the leading two. Georgia Dickey in 4th position. She had a good swim yesterday. I remember saying her name at the front of the field in one of the races yesterday, and I think she was in that outside lane as well, over there in lane number 8, if memory serves me correctly. But it looks like Shay Stewart from Nova Centurion, that green cap, produced so many great swimmers over the years. Nova Centurion just beginning to edge away now. She was 0.3 faster in the previous 100, 0.4 faster in the previous 50, I should say, but 0.4 faster in this 50. And the gap just beginning to open up now as they come down to the halfway point.
Yeah, I wouldn't discount Alice just yet. And she is sticking in there. She was third in the Swim England summer meet last summer, so has some pedigree in this race, which is half a second back now, but very slightly faster in that split. So 4:38.03 at the halfway mark. That compares with the 4:49 in the first heat.
Like small margins as well, Duncan, isn't it? Like 0.5 is the difference in terms of the overall times, but you know, a couple of swims maybe 0.1 or 0.2 faster on each of the 50s, and you're right back in contention as well. Shea Stewart is breathing to her right as she's going up there. I wonder what way. I wonder if she'll stick to the right. I wonder if she'll start to breathe to the left. We saw some of the distance swimmers yesterday in the 1500s breathe to both sides, just to keep an eye on where their opposition was, and obviously helps to balance the stroke as well if you're able to breathe to both sides. But she seems to be out to the right side, so coming down towards this finishing end, Shea Stewart breathing away from her competitor 2 lanes across. But Alice Forrest breathing towards Shea Stewart, and she closing up. Let's have a look.
Certainly looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah,
5:50.10, 5:50.4. So it's just 0.3 now between the two of them. I said don't discount Alice Forrest. And look at her. She is right up beside Shea now. Can she move past her? And then what will Shea do to respond? They're a long way clear of the others. Georgia Dickey there in the white cap up at the top of your screen. The free swimmer in third place. But look at this. Totally together again. 400ths in it. Shea just with the touch.
Yeah, nip and tuck here between these 2 swimmers at the front. Saw a great 800 earlier. We've seen another good 800 here. It's been a good start to the afternoon for these younger swimmers. Shea Stewart with that green cap, and it looks like Alice might just be going ahead here. Difficult to tell. We're just coming alongside us now in the commentary position. We're just kind of based on the 5 metre line almost, and Alice Forrest is definitely taking that lead here. Half a second now the advantage, and it was all about that previous 50. Half a second faster than Shea Stewart on that 50.
Yeah, so she's pacing for 100s around about 112. So if you do the maths, 200 to go, that would be about 9:26. Then knock a bit off for their final sprint. She's going to be there or thereabouts on 9:25. Alice Forrest's entry time. Shea is certainly, you would think, going to be inside her 9:34. But can she hold on to Alice? She's a second back now, and certainly it does look like Alice Forrest is making her move. The 14-year-old from Derwentsside. Derwentsside is a great club from the northeast of England, run on a real cooperative basis, and it's a really nice club to be a part of, and Alice Forrest must be thriving there based on what we're seeing here. 100 to go at this turn. There goes the bell. And she turns 8:12.85. So she's really picked up her pace there. That was under 1:11 for her penultimate 100. Shea Stewart now over a second and a half back. Has she got a final sprint in her to put in one last push to try and catch Alice? Can't really see that happening at the moment as they come to the final turn. What do you think, Paul?
No, Alice looks good, I think. And she's just a body length ahead now of Shea Stewart. 35.25, pulled away another couple of tenths there. And it is a good performance from Alice Forrest. She has swum the second half of this 800 very well. Looked like Shea Stewart was just making a move as they got into around about the 500 metre range there, but this final 200 or 300 metres has belonged to Alice Forrest, and she is going to stretch away. Let's keep an eye on the clock, see if she can get inside her 9:25. I think she is going to, and she is. 9:22.18. Alice Forrest takes it ahead of Shea Stewart, was also inside that 9:25 mark for her entry time. In fact, 9:34 was her entry time, so a big improvement from Shea Stewart. 10 seconds there. That's not a bad afternoon's work.
No, absolutely not. And I can tell you that time, 9:22.18, that was only 3 seconds away from that tie of 9:19 this morning. So she'd be the third fastest junior in that 800 freestyle. So really good stuff from Alice Forrest, getting, I suppose, a notional bronze. No medals at this competition, but a notional bronze medal for the juniors there. Alice, brilliant stuff. Yeah. So something completely different now, 50 backstroke.
We saw the backstroke last night. The 100 backstroke for the men was incredible, wasn't it, Duncan?
Yes.
When they had that tie for the gold medal position and a tie for the bronze medal position as well.
So they're just testing out the starting equipment. Of course, at the other end of the pool, they're starting. There's 3 swimmers scheduled to go and looking at all set to go. Isaac Buchan, Borough Stockton, Ruben Kelly of Dumfries, and Mano Drysdale of Warrender. They're the 3. Isaac in the white cap, Ruben in the blue, Mano in the red. Entry times all in fact, there's only 100th between them. 29.69 for Ruben and Mano and 29.70 for Isaac. So this should be pretty close, you would think. So coming down then. Good start from Isaac. Nice underwater work. And look at that. That's given him a big advantage. As they come down, of course, it gets slightly difficult view sometimes with the angle of the camera, but I can tell you it's very much an Isaac versus Mano contest here, and Mano is the one perhaps who's just getting into his stroke now. It's on the touch, and it is Mano just by 600s, 29.31 and 29.37, both inside their entry times. Ruben Kelly just outside his on the 30 mark, 36. I think we're just waiting for confirmation of that result. Seems to be a little slow coming up, so I don't know whether there's some. There it is now, 35.8 for Ruben. But nice start from Mano and Isaac there, 2 good PBs, about half a second for the pair of them. Mano just getting the edge when it mattered.
Yeah, very good. 29.21, improvement about half a second on the entry time. Seems to be a little bit of a delay. Yeah, swimmers out of the water. Yeah, I think so. Maybe running ahead of time, just taking our time. Maybe those 800s a little bit faster than anticipated.
Yeah, sometimes you get these glitches with the backstroke ledges. I didn't see anybody fiddling with them.
No. Oh, second heat coming now. Orlando Deering from City of Peterborough, closest to us. Oscar Just from Fareham in line 3, David Landman in 4, City of Glasgow, Ethan Stewart Hamilton in 5, Corey Phillip from Dundee City Aquatic in 6, and Rufus Bennett from City of Peterborough in line 7. Good start from the 2 City of Peterborough swimmers on either side of that group of 6. Also, it looks like Ethan Stewart going well in lane number 5. Coming back in lane number 6 as well as Corey Phillip from Dundee City Aquatic. It could be these 2, it could be 5 and 6 into the wall together. And it is Ethan Stewart, 29.41 for Ethan Stewart, just a 10th of a second outside his entry time. Corey Phillip in 2nd position, 29.64, again a 10th of a second outside his entry time. So good performances there from those 2.
And that's the lineup for heat number 3. Logan Jackson goes for University of Aberdeen in 1. 2 is Jack Doherty-Simpson of Scotia. Carl Mitchell of Geary in 3. Cameron Doran, City of Glasgow in 4. Joseph Edgar of Derwentsside in 5. Jack Simpson from East Kilbride in 6. Robbie Thompson all down all the way from Shetland in 7. And Lex Garrett, South Ayrshire in lane 8. So 1 from Derwentsside against 7 Scots. The Derwentsside swimmer Joseph Edgar will perhaps fancy his chances here. He's in lane 5 and he's certainly up there, but a great start from the Shetlander Robbie Thompson in lane 7. Can he take this one from, well, not quite the outside lane, but not far away from it? It looks like, well, maybe he's being slightly overtaken by the swimmers in the centre now, and also lane 2 in the green cap, Jack Doherty-Simpson, and it is Jack that takes it by 300, 28.91 from Joseph Edgar, 28.94, Cameron Doran, 28.97. Real close one, that one. But we're getting under the 29s there, so we are getting faster.
Yeah, he finished well there. Jack Doherty-Simpson. There's the lineup for the next heat. Dylan Cashmore, South Ayrshire. Edward Bell from Seagulls. Ben Twynham from Derventio. Scott Mitchell from Glenrothes. Logan van der Meulen from Stirling Swim. Beagle Savage from Bathgate. Fraser Wilson from University of Aberdeen Performance. Vincent Kay from Holbeck. And there is the lineup for this 4th heat. Glenrothes swimmer in lane number 4. Scott Mitchell is the oldest in the field here. And was behind at the early stages of this one. Logan van der Meulen. His mum was in the crowd yesterday, just behind us actually. I haven't seen her today. Logan van der Meulen looks like he's going to come home in front. He does take that in 28.02. It's a nice family pedigree for Logan van der Meulen, of course. Both his parents, top international swimmers.
Yep, and that was a nice PB from Logan, half a second inside his entry time, so well done to him. Heat number 5 up now. Adam Ritchie, University of Stirling in 1. Finn Bremner of Warrender in 2. His teammate Ewan Beatty in 3. Brandon Johnson, University of Aberdeen in 4. Callum Peebles of East Lothian in 5. Sam Winston from Limerick in 6. George Whittle of Derventio in 7. And Jacob Schmidt of Holbeck in lane 8. Entry time said 28.1 to 28.4. So we saw a 28.0 in that last heat. So can we get under the 28 here? Good start over in lane 8, Jacob Schmidt, and in lane 4, Brendan Johnson. But there's others in the mix. Sam Winston in lane 6 is one of them. This is really, really close here, but I think maybe lane 8, Jacob Schmidt, the Dane, is going to bring this one in. And that's a nice swim, 27.84. Jacob was entered 28.42, so that's another very nice improvement. Sam Winston taking 2nd, George Whittle 3rd. Not much between them, just 300ths. But good stuff from Jacob there. Take heat 5.
And we were looking at the potential qualifying times for the juniors, Duncan. I think you said earlier it was 27.28, so we're getting into that sort of territory now, getting close to that. Into the 27 range.
2 heats to go to try and do it.
And there's a few juniors in this one. Owen Williamson, East Lothian in 1. Salvador Gordo, Stirling University in 2. Callum Rose, Edinburgh University in 3. Jacob Elwell, Stirling Uni in 4. Travis Davey from Dundee City Aquatics in 5. Greer van der Meulen, Stirling Swim in 6. Robbie Boyd, Warren de Baas in 7. And Sebastian Gleeson from Hovenstadens in lane number 8. Callum Rose off to a good start there, as was Salvador Gordo, 2 and 3. Looks like these swimmers have the edge on the others in this field. Coming back strongly in lane number 4 is Jacob Elwell. Also in lane number 6, it's Greer van der Meulen, and he will take it. A double win for the van der Meulens there in the space of a couple of heats. And that time, 27.88 for Greer van der Meulen. Almost bang on his entry time.
And he'll be happy that he beat the 28.02 that he had from his younger brother. So one more heat to try and get inside that 27.28 for the juniors. There's only 2 juniors in this final heat, so they'll have to go. Killian Petch goes for League of Ern in 1. Lucas Lowry of Aquajets in 2. Adam Graham of Millfield in 3. Eddie Irwin of Limerick National Centre in 4. Ryan Ferguson at Edinburgh University in 5. Wessel Stupers of Hovenstadens in 6. Andrew Brodie, Aberdeen Dolphin in 7. And Josh Press of Stirling University in lane 8. 27.3 up to 27.5. Times here. Good start from Killian Peck, the Frenchman, in lane 1. Let's see how this works out. It does look like the outside lane's going nicely. Josh Press on the other side of the pool and also Andrew Brody. But the Frenchman lane 1, Kilian Peck, does take the win, 27.77. So I don't think we'll see any of these swimmers progressing through to tonight, but some good swims nonetheless. Kilian pretty close to his 27.5 entry time there.
Yeah, it's good. There's a big French contingent here. Don't get a couple of clubs.
Yeah, it's lovely to have the French here. I think it's the first year that they've come, so very glad to have you here. If you're listening from France, then welcome. And merci beaucoup.
Oh, well done, Duncan.
Well, that wasn't too demanding.
I'll
I don't ask for much
leave
more
the,
than
I'll
that
leave the
either.
bilingual stuff to you. You should do a translation commentary on the way over. Maybe not on a 50.
I don't want our French friends switching off, so I think we'll give that a miss.
Yeah. So we're on to the women's 50 backstroke now. And we have 8 heats of this one, just 3 swimmers taking the start for this first heat. Again, big opportunity for some juniors to progress here. 3 juniors in this first one. Isla Gilmurray from Dundee City Aquatic in 3, closest to us. We have Alex Coy from Warren de Baths in lane 4 and Ailsa Clubb from Aberdeen Dolphins in lane number 5. Pretty close, all the entry times 32.90 or 32.91. It's that bright cap of Isla Gilmurray with the early advantage. Ailsa Clubb coming back now from Aberdeen Dolphins. Might be the Aberdeen Dolphins swimmer into the wall first. It is just by 6/100ths of a second there. Ailsa Clubb getting in at 32.23. Isla Gilmurray 32.29. Alex Coy 32.66. All inside their entry time. So will be a happy first heat.
Yeah, it's nice to see when every swimmer in that first heat doing a PB. So line up for heat 2, Zuzia Smith of first in 2, Helen Fano of Fareham in 3, Lucy Atherton of Hearts in 4, Adair Solaku of Daventio in 5, Grace Noonan of Mulcahy and Bearsden in 6, and Isla Wetton of East Lothian in lane 7. 32.4 to 32.8 the range of entry times here. These younger swimmers are developing their starting skills, so important in the backstroke to really maximise your start. At lane 6 it is Grace Noonan of Mulcahy and Bearsden, one of 4 16-year-olds in this heat. Is she going to hold on to take it? It looks like she's got the advantage coming in by maybe half a metre and takes the touch in 32.20. So just a touch faster than the first heat, 300ths. So Grace was entered 32.63, so another nice improvement on that entry time. So just wait for the confirmed result to come up. Just taking slightly longer than normal, so I hope there's not a problem.
She had a nice long reach there, very long arms on that backstroke there at the end. Good extension there. Got her into the wall quickly. I think you're right, Duncan. I think something is going on, whether it be a time or whether it be a DQ. No, there we go. We're okay.
We're okay, that's good to know. So Helen Fano taking second, just ahead of Adair Solaku. At the winning time, 32.20 from the Mulcahy and Bearsden swimmer, Grace Noonan.
So Anna Easton goes in 1 in heat number 3, Dundee City Aquatic. Bronwyn Payne from Best in 2. Safrina Machin from City of Glasgow in 3. Lucy McPartland from Perth City in 4. Emma Finlay from East Lothian goes in 5. Emma McGavin, Hamilton in 6. Alice Mackey from Heart of Midlothian in 7. And Emma Liggett from Hamilton in lane number 8. Well, good start there from Alice Mackey. Heart of Midlothian, but coming through in the centre now, it looks like it is Lucy McPartland. That red cap in lane number 4 being challenged by Safrina Machin. And swimmers down closest to us, also in the mix as well, but it is going to be lanes 4, maybe lane 3 getting in. Safrina Machin will get to the wall first in 32.23. And it was Bronwyn Payne. in lane 2. One lane down from Sabrina Machin, who takes second place with Lucy McPartland, a long-time leader there, but going down into third position. So 32.23. So 3 heats that have been pretty close in terms of time.
Yeah, just 300 separating the 3 winners of our first 3 heats. As we move on to heat number 4, you saw the lineup there, and just going through that for you. Anna Kachenko of City of Glasgow in 1, Holly Gilly of Morpeth in 2, Becky Watson, Borough of Stockton in 3, Maya Reynard of Aberdeen Dolphin in 4, Melissa Menny of East Kilbride in 5, Sophie Lend Shearbeck of Fareham in 6, Rosie Forster of Warrender in 7, and Jessica Keogh Hatfield in 8. Entry times here 31.8 to 32.0, so let's see if we can get under the 32 here. Decent start from the Danish swimmer, Sophie Lund Shearbeck in lane 6, but, well, they're all up with her. Now 15 metres to go. This could go any of a number of ways. Lane 5, maybe just edging through. That is Melissa Menny from East Kilbride. Lane 2 is up there. And they are 1 and 2. Melissa Menny just edging it. 31.44, so comfortably into the 31s on that heat. 4 swimmers making it, led by Melissa, 31.44. So nice stuff there from the swimmer from East Kilbride.
Giving themselves a chance of a junior final place, Duncan. A lot more juniors to come, of course.
Yeah, we'll try and keep an eye on that. It's going to be, I think, quite tough to just keep tabs on them. But that certainly was faster than at least one of the juniors from this morning.
Heat 5 is in the water. Zahara Smith from Warrender Bath. Jessica Beaton goes in lane 2 from Aberdeen Dolphins. Natalie Marshall in 4 from West Lothian. Isabella Abernethy, Aberdeen Dolphins in 5. Amber Stevenson in 6 from South Ayrshire. Eve Wood from Orkney goes in 7. We had a good swim yesterday. Mia McLeod from Swim It in 8. And Eve Wood, again, the Orkney swimmer, started really well. We saw her have a good swim yesterday, winning her heat yesterday. Also being pressed now in the centre lane by lane number 4, Natalie Marshall. And Eve Wood takes it, 31.18 and 31.44. So the Orkney swimmer takes that one. Saw a Shetland swimmer earlier on. Now seeing an Orkney swimmer.
Yeah, she's really been flying this season because she won North District age groups last weekend in a 31.3, which was much faster than her entry time here, and then improves it again today. So, well, 31.18. She certainly put herself in the shout for a possible second swim. We'll keep tabs on that. I think that probably puts her 6th fastest maybe so far of the juniors, but as you said, yeah, Paul, there's quite a few to come.
Just 15 as well, Eve Wood.
Yep, good stuff. So line up for heat 6, Zoe Crawford in 1 for first, Ella Stevenson of City Glasgow in 2, Martina Manresa Malberti of Spain in 3, Vital Flickstein of Israel in 4, Jade Blake, Stirling University in 5, Kiana Bellotti of Edinburgh University in 6, Laurie Devine of Repton in 7, and Ailey Armstrong of East Lothian in 8. Well, this is really, really close. Possibly lane 4 just edging it. The Israeli Maital Flickstein, and she's just strong in that last few meters and comes through 30.84. So that's our new fastest time for the 16-year-old. So she now stakes her claim for a place in the final. She's faster than Eve Wood in the previous heat. Laurie Devine 2nd and Ella Stevenson in 3rd. It's hotting up.
It certainly is. That was an excellent finish there from the Israeli swimmer. Charlotte Williams in 1 for this heat 7. Ellie Turner, Stirling University in 2. Ellis Shields, Edinburgh University in 3. Katie Rose from Warrender Baths in 4. Faith Yuda from Edinburgh University in 5. Kira Barber from University of Bath in 6. Volker Tind, Hovenstadens in 7. And Layla Weatherspoon from Heart of Midlothian out there in lane number 8. So who's going to be the first to show here? Oh, very close again. Very difficult to choose who's ahead here. Ellis Shields with a good start. Also up there, Falca Tind in lane number 7. Kira Barber in lane number 6 as well. Now beginning to come through. It could be 6 and 7, although here come the centre lanes. Katie Rose coming back as well. But it might be lane number 7 will take that one. Falca Tind takes it in 30.99. Good swim from Falca Tind. Kira Barber was in second and Ellis Shields in third. There wasn't much to choose between second and third and fourth, all in the 31 second range, but Falca Tind under that 31 and 30.99.
Yep, and she's another junior, so she's maybe got a chance now, but still one more heat to go. And just looking at the lineup, we've got 3 juniors in this final heat. What can they produce? So looking up the line, looks like everybody is there. So Lottie Van Houwert of Belgium in 1, Lucy Stoves, Dundee City Aquatics in 2, Lucy Hitchin of Repton in 3, Megan Donovan, City of Peterborough in 4, Nubia Ajay of Sutton Cheam in 5, Lucy Lucas, Edinburgh University in 6, Fern Crichton, Dundee City Aquatics in 7, and Micheline Stockbrough, Hovage Statens in lane 8. So entry times 30.6s and 30.7s. And, well, you tell me who's going to win this one, because I don't know. Lane 5, Nubia is looking pretty good, but lane 8 maybe, Micheline Stockbrough of Hovage Statens. I think it might be between these two. Lane 3, no, lane 1, completely missed that. The Belgian, Lottie Van Houwert, taking that one. 30.55 for her. Second place, Micheline Stockbrough, 30.97. So I think she'll get a second swim. That's the junior. Oh, so close, but that was a good swim from the outside lane there.
It was good.
The Belgian swimmer, Lottie Van Houwert.
Yeah, we had the Belgian coach up yesterday, giving us a few hints on pronunciation. I hope we're doing okay, Belgium, if you're listening.
I'm sure you'll tell us if we're not.
Yeah.
We do like to learn. It is fantastic having such a good international representation at this meet.
I'm just looking at the flags there right opposite us, and the number of countries that are here. Is a whole array of flags that you might be able to see when the shot pans back. It's, I think that first flag there is Angola. Have we got an Angolan?
We do.
We do?
Yeah, he's studying at Stirling University, but he's represented Angola in the African Games, I think, Raiz Wali.
Right, okay, very good. So,
anyway, get on with the commentary, Paul.
Sorry. We're in the 100 breaststroke now, and the first of the 5 heats. We have 3 swimmers from the West District. We have Finlay Tang from City of Glasgow in lane number 3. We have Gregor Ross from City of Glasgow in lane number 4. And we have Mark Watchorn from Scotia in lane number 5. So 15-year-old Gregor Ross with 2 16-year-olds on either side of him. They're all entered on the same time, 1:12.60. But it does look like the younger swimmer of the 3, Gregor Ross, City of Glasgow, has the advantage here as they come down to this closing stages of this 100 breaststroke first heat. Keep an eye on the clock, as I said, all entered in 1:12.60. I wonder if we're going to get under that time. Certainly the leading swimmer, Gregor Ross, is going to be under that, 1:10.96. And Finlay Tang just outside that one, as was Mark Watchorn. But, good swim there at the front of the field from Gregor Ross. Finishing there, 1:10.96. Good improvement there, second and a half.
Yeah, he's had some good swims this weekend so far, Gregor. So look to see if he can keep that going for the rest of today and tomorrow. Line up for heat number 2 is there for you. Fraser McIntosh goes for East Kilbride in 1. James Gordon in lane 2 for Perth City. Luke Jansen in lane 3 for Warrender. Robbie Carlisle of Hamilton in 4. Ben McLaughlin of Geary in 5. Jack Kelso of Morpeth in 6. Connor Christophorus of Aberdeen Dolphin in 7. Fraser Tetlow of Geary in lane 8. I was going to say it was an all-Scottish affair, and then I realised Jack Kelso isn't from Kelso, he's from Morpeth, just over the border.
Scottish connection over that surname, sure.
In fact, no lanes 5, so no Ben McLaughlin, the Geary swimmer, not there, but it is Robbie Carlisle of Hamilton going well in 4, and over in lane 8 it's Fraser Tetlow, so that's the Geary swimmer who is here, and he leads by a 10th at the halfway mark, just slightly back on the first heat split. Fraser McIntosh in third, going nicely in lane 1. So it's going through those halfway marker there. It does look like Robbie Carlyle is starting to move it on here. The Hamilton swimmer from just to the east of Glasgow, and I think he is going to bring this with him. Although lane 6 does take it. Jack Kelso, good swim from him, 1:11.19. So he's half a second plus inside his entry time. Well done, Jack. Robbie Carlyle takes second, just edging out Fraser McIntosh.
Yeah, Jack Kelso taking that one for Morpeth. And there is the lineup for this third heat. Finlay Nelson from Dumfries. In lane number 1, we have Ben Swan from Borough Stockton. In lane 2, another Glenrothes, the swimmer in the water, David Smith, who had a good swim yesterday. He goes in lane number 3. Logan van der Meulen back in again. Another tough session for some of these swimmers. Logan van der Meulen, second swim in quick succession. Josh Martin, City of Peterborough, in lane number 5. Jake Holmes from City of Glasgow goes in lane 6 next to his City of Glasgow teammate Max Pelosi, who goes in 7. And Thomas Traynor back in again, the East Kilbride swimmer out there in the outside lane. Times for the swimmers in terms of entry is 1:09.20. Glenrothes swimmer who's taken that out fast in lane number 3. Josh Martin from City of Peterborough challenging in lane number 5. It does look like David Smith is going to be into the wall first here as they approach the last 10 metres. It does look like Logan van der Meulen is beginning to pull back now, but not going to catch David Smith now. And it's going to be a win for Glenrothes in 1:09.49. Another good swim from Logan van der Meulen, 1:10.19, and Josh Martin in second position. So good swim there from David Smith. He takes that one around about half a second or so faster than his entry time. Van der Meulen following him home, and Josh Martin in third position.
We only have one swimmer this morning, Paul, junior, so 7 of these swimmers from this afternoon are going to get a second swim. I wonder whether David Smith has been fast enough to be one of those 7, because a number of these swimmers coming up are not juniors. So these juniors have got a great chance in these next 2 heats.
Of course, if you do get to that final session, you have the likes of Adam Peaty and James Wilby for company in the coal room area.
Yep, that'll be something to remember. So the lineup for Heat 4, Conor Mitchell of Warrender in 1, Jack Mitchell of University of Aberdeen in 2, Harper Whitehead, Stirling University in 3, Joseph Martin of Derwentslide in 4, Robson Miles, City of Glasgow in 5, Aidan Fothergill, Edinburgh University in 6, Royas Crongellis of City of Glasgow in 7, and Joshua Sacre, City of Peterborough in lane 8. Harper Whitehead turning first. Get my inner spooner going there. 31.54 for Harper from Jack Mitchell and Aidan Fothergill. And certainly Harper looking pretty strong in lane 3. Can anybody get close to him? He is not one of the juniors, 22 this year, but certainly looking dominant to take this one. To get into the B fund, you have to do a 1:04.55. He's not quite at that pace, but a good solid swim from Harper, 1:06.80. So that's well inside his entry time of 1:07.96. So good stuff there from Harper Whitehead to take the win. Conor Mitchell, 1:08.39. So he is the leading junior, and that was a second faster than David Smith in the previous heat. So he surely will be in, because just looking at the lineup, we've only got 4 juniors coming up in this last heat.
Yeah, there's a raft of swimmers there in the 1:09 range. And it looks like we've got an empty lane in this one as well, lane number 4 in this final heat. We do have Mika van Blerk closest to us, Warren de Baths in lane 1, Arthur Llewellyn from Loughborough University in lane number 2. Yannick Weiland from Netherlands in 3. No one in 4, but we do have Emil Moravsky from Edinburgh University in 5. William Morris from Borough Stockton in lane 6. George Whittle Derventio in 7. And Marius Kringelis from Edinburgh University in the outside lane, going pretty well in that outside lane, you have to say. Flying about 3rd at the turn. Weiland 30.77 as they go over at the halfway point. Moravsky in 2nd, Kringelis in 3rd. And again, looking at these juniors in this one, Weiland is one of the juniors. And he is going to lead them through, trying to make it. I think if he's in the kind of low 109s, I think he should be safe enough for that one, to make that final. And he's on course for that. Swimmer in lane number 3, the Netherlands swimmer. Again, a big Netherlands presence here. And a good time, 104.71 for Yannick Weiland. Excellent time there in that final heat. Moravsky in the 107 there in 2nd. Arthur Llewellyn in 3rd place in 107. So Yannick Weiland, I think we're going to see him again tonight, Duncan.
Yeah, might be in the B final, because I reckon that is 17th overall, so he'd be first reserve for the B final. So only to take one withdrawal to get him into that B final rather than the junior final. So it wouldn't be at all surprised if we see him doing that. So well done to Yannick there. That was super stuff. So back to the women now, and we got 100 butterfly up for you in this one. So in this first heat, we have Lauren Anderson of West Lothian in 1, Nadine Wilson of Borough Stockton in 2, Zara Kravis in lane 3 for East Lothian, Rosie Liston of City of Glasgow in 4, Mia Mason, City of Manchester in 5, Grace Courtney of East Lothian in 6, and Georgia Dickey in lane 7 representing Dumfries. So 107s to high 108s is the range of times here. Fairly close, coming down towards the wall. See who's going to get the touch, or it could go a number of ways. And it does go to Lauren Anderson in lane 1, in fact tied with Zara Kravis, 31.61. So good strong starts from both of them. There you can see Lauren in the blue cap at the bottom of your screen, just being slightly hidden by the graphics there, but now we can see her. And then Zara in the black cap in lane 3. Up at the top of your screen, Georgia Dickey is also going nicely. So she is in the hunt here. Is it going to be Zara? I think it is. The youngster from East Lothian, just 14 this year, takes the win. 107 dead, so over a second inside her entry time. And well, again, yeah, maybe a chance for a second swim there for the East Lothian girl. Georgia Dickey taking 2nd, and another East Lothian swimmer taking 3rd there by 100th, and that was Grace Courtney. So keep an eye on that. 107.00, certainly in the top 8 at the moment, but still plenty of heats to go. Top 8 for juniors, that is.
Yeah, here's the second heat coming now. Have we got some spare lanes in this one? I think we have. Yeah, just the one, I think. As we have Carolina Rasmussen from Farum in lane 1. Leila Witherspoon, he goes for Hard Midlothian in 2. Poppy Mead from Derventio in 3. Ariana Stokes from Morpeth goes in 4. We've got Kirsty Breakin from Aberdeen Dolphins in 6. Katie Rose from Bourne-de-Bath in 7. And Zoe Crawford from First in lane number 8. Well, again, quick turnaround for some of these swimmers. Katie Rose just swum seemingly about, I don't know, seems like about 10 minutes ago we saw Katie Rose in the water. But she's back in again and contesting for the lead here. She's up there in lane number 6, just the top of those yellow marked lanes, I should say. Poppy Mead going well in lane number 3 though, and Ariana Stokes inside her as well. The Morpeth swimmer in lane number 4. It could well be Poppy Mead in that entry time of 106.69, and she's stretched away in the closing stages there. Very good finish there for Poppy Mead to take that one. in 106.47. A couple of tenths improvement for Poppy Mead and Layla Witherspoon in second position. Kirsty Breakin in third place. So the top three all under the 108 range. So a good swim at the front there to win that one. Poppy Mead.
So your lineup for heat number 3, Faith Yuda, Edinburgh University goes in 1. Melissa Main Waring is in lane 2 for West Lothian. Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson in lane 3 for Derwent's side. Madison Cool of Bucky in lane 4. Sophie Magoo, Hovistattens in 5. Faye Rogers of University of Aberdeen in 6. And Susie McNair of Stirling Swim in lane 8. 105s and 106s the entry times here. Lane 4 is Madison Cool, the 15-year-old from Bucky. Madison has been swimming really well, did a 103.9 up last weekend in Aberdeen, and she is really pushing it off. 30 seconds on the dot at the halfway mark. So Madison making her claim for another swim tonight. She was 4th also in the McCullough meet of 2 weeks ago I think it was. And look at this, she is dominating this, and certainly you'd fancy her chances to get into the junior final. Her entry time 105.6, as I said, she went under 104 last weekend. And can she do that again? I think she can. What's her time going to be? 103.92, so slightly faster than she did in Aberdeen last weekend. So that's a new best time for Madison, and surely that will book her a time into the junior final. Susie McNair, 105.65, could well be there as well. Sophie Magoo taking third. So that was a strong swim there. Madison, 103.92.
It looks really good. And at the end there, it looked very strong indeed. Madison Cool, youngest in that field as well, just 15 years of age this year. A couple of 15-year-olds in this one. This final heat. Hannah Willis from City of Peterborough in the outside lane, lane 1. Annabelle Chan from Millfield in 2. Coco Croxford from Stirling Swim in 3. Megan Donovan, City of Peterborough in 4. Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow in 5. Helen Stoddart from East Lothian in 6. Alice Mackey from Hart Midlothian in 7. And Kiana Kurtza, the other 15 years of age swimmer, she goes in lane number 8 for Warren de Baths. Well, first to the wall, it might be Heidi Wren from City of Glasgow, just ahead of Coco Croxford, Stirling swimmer Coco Croxford. And Hannah Willis just in third position ahead of Helen Stoddart, but not much to choose between them at that turn. But Heidi Wren came off the wall really well, and she is stretching away in front of the others in this field. It could be Coco Croxford the most likely to make a challenge, and Megan Donovan trying to come back as well in the closing stages. But I think it might be Heidi Wren who's going to hold on to this one into the wall, and Heidi Wren gets it in 104.74, an improvement on her entry time. The only swimmer under the 105 mark in that final heat. Hannah Willis in second with just 1/100th ahead of Coco Croxford at the end.
Yeah, I think that will get Heidi Wren a second swim as well. So, yeah, I think we probably have to be in the sort of 105s territory for get that junior swim. So, good stuff from Madison Cool and Heidi Wren in those last 2 heats, and we'll see them again tonight. As we move now to the men and 200 butterfly. 3 heats go here. How does this rank in your favourite events, 200 butterfly, Paul?
200 butterfly, well, again, it's one that I didn't do that much as a swimmer. I always, you always have to get the timing right for 200 butterfly. I only did it a few times. It wasn't a para event I targeted, but the few times that I did it, like, I either had too much energy left at the end, I was too conservative going out, or I was just absolutely spent on that last line. So I never quite got it right. I never did it enough times to get it right. But these guys that are doing this 200 butterfly, You know, it's quite a regular event at these. We never had the opportunities back in the old days, the days of the woolen swimming costumes. And
see you in the knitting costume with the stripes across your stomach. Yeah. Yeah, those were the days. So we've got, what, 6 swimmers going in this one. Cedar Gullen of Warrender in lane 1, Carl Mitchell of Geary in 2, his teammate Fraser Tetlow in lane 3. 4 is an empty lane. 5, Zach Slater of East Lothian, Noah Lester of Ferrum in 6, Kai Connolly, City of Glasgow, completes the field in lane 7. Yes, certainly it is a question of balancing the early effort that you put in and not putting in too much so that you can't sustain it through 200 meters, but as you said, not putting in too little, in which case you're not going to achieve your potential. So it's Gullen and Slater just 700ths apart at the halfway mark, 104.32 and 104.39. Great shots of Cedar there down at the bottom of your screen there. Looks like he's got the edge, has he? Well, it's pretty close.
Yeah, he's looking good at this stage, and somewhere in lane number 1. We'll just get an eye on that time as they hit the wall for the last time here. Hey, it's going to be pretty good. He looks pretty strong, you have to say. Cedar Gullen, that long stroke, keeping that long butterfly stroke, and he came off the wall very fast. It looks like he is the stronger of the swimmers as they go into this final 50. Zach Slater, as you can see by the splits there on the screen, just 0.7 of a second slower in that previous 50. And it's been a well-timed race here for the swimmer in lane number 1, Cedar Gullen from Warrender Bass with that red cap. It looks like Slater is being caught slightly by Noah Lester, but he's going to hold on for second. And Cedar Gullen will take that one in 36.54 for his final 50, 2:16.85 overall. And he wins by almost 5 seconds in the end, Duncan.
And Noah Lester, I thought he'd maybe just caught Zach Slater there, but no, it's Zach Slater taking second, 2:20.17 for him. But that was a nice little PB from Cedar, taking best part of 2 seconds off his entry time.
I'm just looking at the schedule for this afternoon. I saw the name Fraser Tetlow. We just saw him in the 100 breaststroke. He's just done a 200 butterfly. And then he's got another, I think it's a 400 IM to come a little bit later on. No, 800 freestyle for Fraser Tetlow. My goodness.
They build them tough out the Geary way.
Yeah.
Inverurie based, of course. So this is heat 2. Finley Club goes for Aberdeen Dolphin in 1. Adam Strickland of Derwentsside in 2. Lars Knudsen of Ferrum in 3. Marcus Scullion of Stirling University in 4. James Burnett of Warrender in 5. Travis Davey of Dundee City Aquatics in 6. Andrew Brodie of Aberdeen Dolphin in 7. And Rufus Bennett of City of Peterborough in 8. Good start from Finley Club. Marcus Scullion, 28.43 and 28.66. So there are your early leaders. James Burnett, who had a very nice 400 IM this morning, 29.3 in 3rd place. So he could figure, you would think, as this race goes. Good endurance swimmer. But it's lane 4, Marcus Scullion of Stirling University, wearing a unusual cap for Stirling, dark red. That's not what I expect to see. Or is it pink? Maybe dark pink. Also still Finley Club up there. In fact, he's still, well, they're tied at the halfway mark. 1:02.53. Finley and Marcus. James Burnett just 3/10 back. Also you can see there lane 2, Adam Strickland. Pushing on, working hard. And lane 6, Travis Davey, not mentioned him, but he is in the mix and looking pretty strong down this 3rd length. Be interesting to see the intermediate splits here to see how fast Travis is, because he has certainly made a lot of ground in that 3rd 50. And you can see there 35.3. In fact, the same sort of pace as James Burnett now has moved into the lead. Is it going to be these two down the final length, or has Finley Club got something in the locker? Has he got a club in the locker? Oh dear.
Well, I'm not sure if he has. let's leave that one there. I think it's going to be 5 and 6 going to fight this one out. And as you picked Duncan, looks like Travis Davies going to have the momentum here coming into the finish. Don't think there's anything that James Burnett can do in those final few strokes. But Travis Davey does take that one to 14.24 for Travis Davey. And with an entry time of 2:13, not too far away at all. Nice finish there from Travis Davey. Again, we've seen the swimmers coming through strongly in the closing stages, timing their swims correctly there. Finley Club led off and he just faded away. The strength in that last kind of 50, 75 metres came through. And there's the lineup for heat number 3. Mark Innes from Edinburgh University in line 1. Calvin Neese from Hulbeck in 2. Brodie Gordon-Gibson from Warren de Bass in 3. Matthew McMillan from Incas in 4. Isaac Buchan from Borough of Stockton in line 5. The Austrian Louis Kurtz in line number 6. And Joshua Robinson, Dermot side in 7 with Rory Young, City of Glasgow in lane number 8. Louis Kurtz, I think, off to a good start. Brodie Gordon-Gibson also going well. The Warren de Bass swimmer might be first to the wall with that red cap. Louis Kurtz just behind by 0.3 of a second. Calvin Neese from the Holbeck Club from Denmark. I've seen a lot of the Denmark teams over the years at this Edinburgh International Cup. Remember seeing an Austrian team, Duncan. We've had Felix Holbeck swim, the great Austrian freestyler, and but he's representing Loughborough for the first time. I think we've seen an Austrian team here, is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I certainly can't remember one. Well, look at that. For the second time we've had a tie at the halfway mark. 101.03, Brodie and Louis. Brodie has made great progress in the last year. Earned himself a place on the Scottish junior team. He was the winner of the Scottish Summer Meet in this event. But let's see what he could do in the closing stages here in that distinctive red cap with the white W on it in lane 3. But he's got his work cut out with Louis Kurtz going in lane 6. And it is the Austrian who's looking like he's the favourite now. 21-year-old entered 2:11.10. So he turns in 1:34.57. That's 3.5 seconds faster than the previous heat. Again, there's a room in the junior final for the best of the juniors this afternoon. And a look here at lane 5. Isaac Buchan, the 16-year-old from Borough of Stockton, moving up. He is having a fantastic final length here, and he's right beside Louis Kurtz now. Is he going to edge out? I think he is. What a final 50 from Isaac. Look at that, 33.55 for his final 50. Whoa. He certainly didn't leave anything behind in that swim. 2:09.23. So he was entered 2:09.93, so he knocked 7/10 off his entry time and absolutely blitzed that last 50. So we'll see him again definitely tonight. I think we'll see Brodie as well. 2:10.84 for him. Louis Kurtz, of course, a senior. And he's not that far away from place. In fact, it's possible Isaac Buchan, we saw this earlier, he's now overall 17th. So again, one withdrawal, he's in the B final.
Right, and then of course the junior final. So another spot available in the junior final.
That's right.
Because if the juniors make the B final, then they go into the B final as a matter of right, and the ranking for the juniors drops down a place. So good news for the juniors, not so good news for the seniors.
They have to swim faster. Oh, it's a cruel sport sometimes. So 400 medley is next. We've got 3 heats here for the women. Rosie Forster of Warrender. Nadine Wilson is not there in lane 4, so it's a head-to-head with Gemma Brown of Carnegie, the second swimmer here. So you've just got 2 swimmers, 8 lengths of the pool. Let's see how this works out. It'd be ideal if it's close, but at the moment it's Gemma Brown who is pushing off very strongly in lane 5.
You can never tell in 400 IM In these early stages, though, once we get into the kind of middle of this race, it could all close up. We might find a top breaststroker in the middle of this individual medley, could make a massive difference, but at the moment, it's a huge gap to pull back for Rosie Foster. Gemma Brown has gone out really quickly. The swimmers both 16 years of age this year. Entry times pretty close, 5:28.20 and 5:26.80.
So both 16-year-olds, both from the East District, Warrender and Carnegie. So they've swam against each other in East District age groups. That was swam short course for the 400 IM. And I can tell you, breaking news, Gemma Brown was 5th. Rosie Forster was 6th.
All right. Well, that's the way it is shaping up at the minute. Not 5th and 6th, but 1st and 2nd. It's got a little bit to pull back there, Duncan. 6 seconds the advantage after that butterfly. That is a lot. And we'll keep an eye on the splits as we go through. It's difficult to tell if that lead has reduced or not. I think it's not 6 seconds anymore, though. Surely not. Yeah, look at that. 3 second, well, 2 and a bit second advantage there that Rosie Foster had on the backstroke. So she's pulling it back. Can she take advantage of this? And what's the breaststroke going to bring us?
Yeah, I think that's probably the question, isn't it? As you said, Rosie is going to bring quite a lot of that back, but I don't think she'll have caught Gemma by the halfway mark, but she's definitely bringing it back. In fact, she's bringing it back quite fast now with 15 meters of backstroke to go. So approaching halfway, and you see the clock just into the 2:30s. Gemma now with a lead of what, 2.5 meters? 2:37.09 against 2:38.99, so just shy of 2 seconds the gap. So let's see, what do we think in the breaststroke? Have we got any clues from the early strokes?
They look pretty similar at this point in the breaststroke early stages. Gemma Brown still with that edge, a couple of seconds as you said, Duncan. Rosie Forster right on the feet of the swimmer from Carnegie. That red cap of Warrender. Gemma Brown certainly maintaining that lead. Be interesting to see the split as they hit this top turn here. There's not going to be much in it in terms of the breaststroke, I think. We shall see. Gemma Brown going over now. Man, 3:27.24. She went 50.1. Yeah, Rosie Forster just losing a little bit of ground there, but not much at all. It's teeing this one up, Duncan. I think it's going to be a good finish here.
Yep, Gemma will certainly feel like she wants to open up as much of a gap as she possibly can here if she has got the slight advantage on the breaststroke, although Rosie may be just clawing it back again now in the second half of the breaststroke. It does look like perhaps she is coming back once again at Gemma. So, as you said, I think we are all set up for a really tight final 100 freestyle. It is going to be the Carnegie swimmer. Carnegie, of course, based in Dunfermline, just across the Firth of Forth from here. A Fifer like you.
Indeed. Will be one of the top clubs in Fife for a long, long time. Carnegie, they go back to the 1800s, I think, Carnegie. And some of the clubs as well.
Named after the famous Andrew Carnegie, of course.
As a number of things in Dunfermline are, a number of memorials and a number of facilities that were sponsored by Andrew Carnegie. The original Carnegie Hall, I think. Well, I'm not sure if it's the original one, but similar to the Carnegie Hall in New York City, of course. But it's not good news for the Carnegie swimmer just at this particular point in time, because I think she has just been eclipsed by the Warrender swimmer. Another club with a proud history. Sure, Warrender and Carnegie have swum against each other for, well, over 100 years.
Yeah, and it does look like it's Rosie Forster just with that strength of now moving away emphatically in the freestyle. So didn't panic when Gemma had that massive lead after the butterfly. Just gradually pulled it back in the backstroke, held her own pretty much in the breaststroke, and then when it came to freestyle, moved through and away So it is going to be Rosie Forster at 5:28 her entry time, not quite at that level, but 5:34.60 takes the head-to-head from Gemma Brown, who comes in just behind her. 5:39.34.
So it reversed the positions from the East District age group.
So 2 heats to come. And there's your lineup for this heat number 2. Alice Ward for Borough of Stockton in lane 2. 3 is Zara Innes of Carnegie. 4, Cassie Wiper of East Kilbride. In 5, it's Kate Kennedy of Morpeth. Lane 6, Isabel Fox of Derwentside. And lane 7, Layla Weatherspoon from Heart of Midlothian. 5:21 up to 5:25, the range of times here.
There's a few from the northeast of England in this one. Borough of Stockton, Morpeth, Derwentside. It's quite a little bit of an easy journey for them to come up the road, a couple of hours.
Yeah, as long as the snow wasn't too bad. But, I think the A1 was okay in these last few days. A bit different from a few years ago when we had the beast from the east while we were here at the Edinburgh International. But, hopefully we won't see those days again.
I think we're going to be okay this weekend, I think. We can survive another day without snow. It's a nice day here in Edinburgh, very bright, cold outside. Certainly warm enough on this poolside here as we come to the end of the butterfly element of the second heat of the 400 individual medley. And it looks like it might be Alice Ward, possibly. It could be Isabel Fox in there. No, it is Alice Ward. Someone from Borough of Stockton. Borough of Stockton, I remember, had a great kind of batch of butterflyers back in the day, making the Olympic and international teams. Gemma Lowe was one that was an internationalist from Borough of Stockton. Jessica Dickens as well was a 200 butterfly specialist. So Borough of Stockton with a good pedigree there for butterflyers. And their swimmer is pretty much in the mix there as they go into the backstroke. Isabel Fox, I think, is taking up the running.
Yep, so Derwentside, I'm sure the 15-year-old from Derwentside would have swum against the 16-year-old from Borough of Stockton in the North East Championships in the past. Northumberland and Durham, of course, joined together for their county championships in that very nice pool that they have now in Sunderland. Third place is also a pretty tight contest. In lanes 3 and 4, Sarah Innes of Carnegie and Cassie Wiper from East Kilbride. But it is the 2 from the northeast of England. And still it is Isabel Fox with the upper hand by just over a second at the end of the backstroke, 2:33.16. A second faster than we saw in the previous heat.
I think it's all to play for on the breaststroke, though. 4 swimmers are going to be in contention here. Isabel Fox going well in lane number 6. And she looks like she's stretching away from the others. Cassie Wiper in lane number 4, pulling through strongly now. She's gone from 3rd, I think just about into 2nd. Alice Ward just falling back on this breaststroke. Sarah Innes is still right there, probably in 4th place at the minute, but Isabel Fox with that split there, 47.18, it's taken her away from Alice Ward, but Cassie Wiper certainly pulling up with that split, 45.79. You can see why she has come back into contention, and it's going to be pretty close at the end of this breaststroke, I think, if this continues.
Yeah, certainly Cassie Wiper is pushing hard, although maybe Isabel Fox just holding her own at this point. I think Cassie having made up nearly a second and a half in the first 50 of breaststroke, and well, let's see, is she continuing to close the gap? Maybe a little bit, but probably not by as much as she was last time, but she is in range as we come up to the 300 to give herself a good shot when we go to freestyle. So Isabel through in 4:07.94, Cassie 4:08.75. Surely it's now between these two. Alice Ward quite a way back, 4:13, and Zara Innes 4:14. So let's see, Isabel Fox in 6, Cassie Wiper in 4. So the 15-year-old from Derwentshire against the 16-year-old from East Kilbride. So both juniors in this one. They really need to get into sort of 5:25 territory to have a chance for a second swim. I think they're probably, well, could be in that sort of range. That definitely could be, and this is going to be pretty tight. We're seeing a really strong finish from lane 2. Alice Ward here is pushing hard, but I don't think she can catch the leading 2. It's still Isabel Fox who is holding Cassie Wiper at bay with about 20 meters to go. Can she get the job done here? I think she can. She's still a body length up on the swimmer from East Kilbride. So that's going to be the 1-2. Isabel Fox, her entry time 5:24. Takes that down nicely to a 5:21. Cassie Wiper right on her entry time, 5:22.30. And Alice Ward, good swim from her, also improves on her entry time, 5:23.71. So I talked about 5:25s being the fastest. Well, the 6th place from this morning, so we're certainly 3 swimmers inside that. That's having a look at, there are a good number of juniors to come in the last heat. So, well, that 5:21, that I guess is their target.
Yeah, there is the lineup for this last heat. Mai Rogers from Warren de Balas goes in 1. Freya Beaton from City of Glasgow in 2. Lexine McCappin from first in lane 3. Catherine Body from Geary goes in 4. Alice Forrest from Derwentside in 5. Caris Mooney from Glasgow in 6. And another pair of Derwentside and Glasgow swimmers. Anna Finlay from Derwentside in 7. And Alice Cumming from City of Glasgow in lane number 8. So 5:21. Probably the new target to try and secure a place in the junior final. So all juniors in this one, with the exception of Catherine Body, the 19-year-old who goes in lane number 4, and I think would leads them through the first 50 here. Alice Cumming going well in the outside lane. City of Glasgow. 3 City of Glasgow swimmers in this one. Freya Beaton in 2, Caris Mooney in 6, and Alice Cumming out there in lane number 8. But Catherine Body from Geary, fastest entry time in 5:14.74. I'm not surprised to see her out in front of the field. But, good start from the City of Glasgow swimmer in the outside lane, Alice Cumming. Take her into second position. Let's have a look at the split here. 109.26, 2 seconds exactly the difference between the first 2. Anna Finlay and Freya Beaton pretty close behind in 3rd and 4th, as is Alice Forrest as well. In fact, that's almost a row of around about 5 swimmers all chasing the leading 2. We'll just see how they go in this first 50 on the backstroke, see if anyone is going to make a move on the leaders. Catherine Body looks like she is extending that lead as Alice Cumming kind of falls back into the pack. Anna Finlay maybe is going to be in second place when they hit this backstroke turn. Catherine Body 41.89 for that first 50 of backstroke. This is Anna Finlay. The fastest backstroke of them all was right at the back of the field, Mai Rogers, so I wonder if she can move through. 41.00 for that red cap of Warrender, Mai Rogers, right closest to us. Got a little bit of ground to make up though as they come down to the halfway point. Catherine Body with that lead at that top turn of around about 2.5 seconds. She looks like she is maintaining that one. She has clear water between herself and swimmer in second position. That's Alice Forrest, who's now moved through. Take up the second place with an advantage now for Catherine Body, 2.5 seconds or so. But the breaststroke, can we see a change?
Certainly she's looked pretty controlled throughout this. Won the B final in the Scottish National Championships last summer in Aberdeen. And well, let's see if she can maintain this advantage in the breaststroke. Certainly Alice Forrest is looking pretty good, the youngster from Derwent's side. We've talked about her already this afternoon, and still going nicely is Anna Finlay, her teammate, in lane 7. But Catherine Body is the one they've got to catch. Let's see, 46.3. So Anna Finlay in particular was fastest. So is May Rogers. You talked about her coming up storming in the backstroke, and she is now trying to get herself into position there at the bottom of your screen. May Rogers of Warrender, but Catherine Body has led throughout, and she'll not want to give this up. Anna Finlay perhaps is the big threat now in lane 7, but don't discount Alice Forrest either in lane 5. May Rogers perhaps the outside smoker at this stage. But this is getting tight, Paul, as we come up to the 300 metres. And maybe Catherine's lead has gone here. It does look like it's Anna Finlay who's turning first into the freestyle. And that's confirmed there, 4:03.41.
Well, Catherine Body just dropping back on that second 50 breaststroke there. You see the split, 46.81. And the three around her improving and closing the gap on that long-time leader. And Anna Finlay looking really good there in the opening stages of that freestyle. But what about Alice Forrest? Really coming back strongly here. She's gone ahead of Catherine Body. May Rogers, I think, is going to have to settle for 4th place. I think it's between the leading 3 and maybe even the leading 2 now. It's Anna Finlay against Alice Forrest as they come down this final 50. You see the splits there. Alice Forrest, 36.29, a second and a half faster than Anna Finlay, and she only has half a second to make up. And here comes the swimmer in lane 5, Alice Forrest. She is going to surely bring them home now. She has the momentum. Anna Finlay has been skirting with the lead all the way through this 400, but at the end she's going to have to settle for second, because it is a nicely timed race from Alice Forrest in 5:15.69. A great freestyle there, and that brings her inside her entry time, with Anna Finlay in second and May Rogers coming through for 3rd position there. Well, in fact, no, I think it's Catherine Body for 3rd place. The caption's not quite correct there. But it was a blistering last 50 there, wasn't it, from Alice Forrest?
Yeah, certainly was. And Derwent's side getting a nice 1-2 there, both inside their entry time. So they'll be happy campers coming away from the 400 IM. And just looking at those times, you would think that they'll both, I think, be swimming again tonight. So we'll see whether they can improve again tonight. So good stuff there from Derwent's side as we start now to focus on men's 50 freestyle. We've got plenty of heats of this one for you. Let's have a look. 10 heats coming up. 3 in the first heat. Joshua Sackery of City of Peterborough, Richard Laws of Cooper, Alex Black of First. Off they go. Entry times all in the 25s, high 25s. Good start from the Peterborough swimmer, Joshua Sackery. Although now Alex Black is pushing hard. In between them, not far away at all, Richard Laws. So this is going to be a close first one. I think maybe Alex Black now has the advantage in lane 5. The first swimmer entered 25.87, and he comes in just outside that 25.99. Sackery second, just by 100th from Richard Laws. So good, tight contest between the 3 swimmers there. Get us started on this 50 freestyle.
Yeah, it was head down there into the final half length there. Straight arms for Alex Black to take that one in 25.99. Times are going to get faster as we go through these 10 heats. Corey Phillip, Dundee City Aquatic in 1. Cameron Gill from first in 2. Viggo Savage from Bathgate in 3. Callum Sinclair, West Lothian in 4. And 3 from City of Glasgow in 5, 6 and 7. Robson Miles, Finlay Tsang and Marcus Blake. In fact, no one in 4. So City of Glasgow at the top of the picture. Dundee City Aquatic first and Bathgate at the bottom. Robson Miles in lane number 5 may well be into the wall first here. And again, it's a tight contest, and it was Viggo Savage who gets it by 1/100th of a second. It must have been a really good finish there from Viggo Savage. I did think that Robson Miles was coming into the wall first. And that time, 25.53 from Viggo Savage, takes it by 1/100th with Marcus Blake in 3rd position. But again, decent time from the top 2, slight improvement on their entry times by around about a 10. Still an improvement though, Duncan.
Yep, absolutely. They all count. Christopher Thaulo goes in 1. In heat 3, Micah Van Blerk in 2. Jake Holmes in 3. Ewan Beatty in 4. Ben Horton in 5. James Gordon in 6. Ben Twynham in 7. And Ben King in lane number 8. Looks like we've got no swimmer in lane 1 here. And we're missing lane 8 as well. So the outside lanes have given this one a miss. 25.3s and 25.4s the entry times here. Good start from Ben Twynham in lane 7. He looks like he's got the advantage here by nearly a metre. Pushing on now Ben Horton, but it's going to be Ben Twynham winning the Battle of the Bends. 25.15, takes it by 2/10 from Ben Horton with Jake Holmes in 3rd. So goes a little improvement there from
a decent time, yeah.
Yeah. Ben Twynham taking 25.41 down to 25.15.
So some familiar names already we've seen this afternoon in this next heat. Edward Bell, Seagulls in 1, David Smith from Glenrothes in 2, Logan van der Meulen, Stirling Swim in 3, Zach Slater, East Lothian in 4, Dylan Cashmore, South Ayrshire in 5, Finlay Wright from University of Bath goes in 6, Cameron Creaney in 7 from Stirling Uni, next to his Stirling Uni teammate John Mackay. Good start there in lane number 5, Dylan Cashmore, South Ayrshire, Finlay Wright also going well in lane number 6 as they come to the finish here. It might just be lane number 6. Finlay Wright into the wall first. It is 25.12, slightly faster than that previous heat by a matter of hundredths of a second, with Dylan Cashmore in 2nd and Edward Bell in 3rd place, just ahead of David Smith and Logan van der Meulen. So another improvement there from Finlay Wright. Again, a matter of hundredths, 9/100ths faster than his entry time.
Yeah, absolutely no room for error here in these sprints, isn't there? One little mistake and you are finished. So this is heat 5. Cedar Gullen in 1, Luke Shaw in 2, Matthew Brown in 3, Finn Bremner in 4, Finlay Nelson in 5, Vincent Kay in 6, Charles Grondell in 7, Victor Desroges in 8. 24.9 to 25.1's the times here. Good starts, lane 7, Charles Grondell, lane 2, Luke Shaw, also up there, Victor Desroges in lane 8. I think it's going to be maybe Charles Grondell taking the touch. He does 24.54, another nice improvement, over half a second. Half a second in a 53 at this level is a big PB, isn't it, Paul?
That is very good going indeed. Charles Grondell, Luke Shaw under the 25-second mark. Massive swim there from lane number 7. And there's the lineup for heat 6. Greer van der Meulen, Aidan Kay, Vincent Dwyer, Ian Rose, Kieran Lennox, Ryan Ferguson, Frederick Jorgensen, and Mads Muller. Ian Rose, fastest entry time, 24.60. University of Bath swimmer in lane number 4, but it's all very, very tight indeed. Kieran Lennox going well in lane 5. Good start from Frederick Jorgensen as well from Fareham in lane number 7. It looks like it's between these two, 5 and 7. Lennox and Jorgensen into the wall. Jorgensen is going to be a clear winner, pulled away in the closing stages there, and that's the fastest we have seen 24.45. Another improvement there. 0.4 of a second improvement for the Fareham swimmer.
Yep, the Danes are showing some good form this weekend. Regular visitors to Edinburgh, and it's great to have them here. Into heat 7. As far as I can see, they're all present. Ben Kelly, Gabriel Almedib, Dean Fern, Vessel Stupas, Lucas Lowry, Adam Ritchie, Ollie Kettle, and Stefan Omolchenko. No lane 7, in fact. No Ollie Kettle. So coming down the pool, lots and lots of water there. As you see, they're all pushing hard, but lane 3, Dean Fern, the young superstar from Aberdeen Dolphin, is looking good, but maybe just being eclipsed now by Adam Ritchie in lane 6. It's tight between the two of them, but Adam Ritchie does just edge it. So again, into the 24s, 24.15, Dean 24.28. But again, both inside their entry time. Stefan Omolchenko taking 3rd. You just can't breathe here. It's
You just can't
fast and furious.
We're both recoiled there, looking at that finish to see who was going to get that touch there. Brody Gordon Gibson back in the water again. He goes in lane 1 for this heat number 8. Adam Graham is in 2. Nathan Holmes in 3. Swalab Talib in lane number 4, next to Stirling University teammate Greg Fairbairn. Cameron Jameson in 6. Finley Club back in again in 7. Marius Kringelis out there in lane number 8. Looks like it might be Cameron Jameson, possibly in lane number 6, but going well right in the centre. Swalab Talib into the wall, and it is 24.41 for Talib. He just gets the touch there over Cameron Jameson, who was leading at halfway. Just got caught at the end by Talib. Nathan Holmes in 3rd spot, just a few hundreds behind. Very close indeed.
Yep, Talib showing his experience there, Kenyan international. So
another flag to tick off my list.
Yep. Can you recognise which one it is?
Yeah, it's in alphabetical order.
That helps.
That is a clue.
So 2 more heats to go, and in heat 9 we've got Jacob Wibley, Ben Carr, Louise Kurtz, Ariane Din, Sebastian Greason, George Snow, Cody Dunyan and Tom Donker. 24.0 and 24.1's the entry times here, and again it's wall-to-wall swimmers. Lane 8 looking good. The Eindhoven swimmer Tom Donker, is he going to bring this one in? I think he is. Lane 3 pushing hard. That was Louis Kurtz, but it is Donker taking the win. 24.10, just nudging inside his entry time from Kurtz 2nd, 24.23, and Ben Carr 3rd by 100th and 24.41.
Yeah, really close heats that we have seen here. And if we're going to get anyone under the 23-second mark in this final heat, Miles Lapsley goes in 1, Edinburgh University, next to his 2 teammates, Scott Gibson and Ross Leslie in lines 2 and 3. Derwent sides, Adam Strickland in 4, Liam Dawson for Derventio in 5, Enrique Mascarenas, University of Bath in 6, Murray Pritchard from Perth City in 7, and Tom Truman from Nova Centurion in lane number 8. In fact, no Scott Gibson in lane number 2, but the rest are there. Good start in the centre here. Liam Dawson from Derventio in lane number 5. I think might just have the edge here. It's very difficult to see though. Ross Leslie going well in lane number 3 as well, but it might be Liam Dawson maybe into the wall. And it is Liam Dawson, and Miles Lapsley nearly sneaked it from the outside lane. The Edinburgh University swimmer, 24.13 for him, but Liam Dawson, 24.05, just shy of the 24-second mark. But again, incredibly close. 50 freestyles, Duncan. Great races.
Yep. I think we'll see Liam again tonight. I think that will be good enough for a place in the junior final, because we'll get those start lists out as quickly as we can after the end of this session to confirm who's in what. But next it's 50 breaststroke for the women. 3 heats just in this one. You saw the lineup briefly come out for you, and we'll just go through that. It's Greta Samaska going for Warrender in lane 2, Ailey McNair of Mulgai and Bearsden in 3, Isabel Kendall of Stirling Swim in 4. Iona Kasapidis of Carnegie in 5. And Ellen McPhee of Holdhouse in lane 6. This is a rarity, an all Scottish heat. 36s all the way through. So it could be a tight one. Mixture of 4 16-year-olds, 1 17. The referee just gets ready to blow her whistle, and up they get onto the blocks. Are they all there? Yes, I think so. So the 5 swimmers set off down the pool. As I said, 36.5, 36.6, their entry times. And it does look like it's the centre lanes, maybe just edging it, Isabel and Iona early on, but, well, this could go anyway, really. Ailey McNair is certainly in the mix in lane 3. Greta Samaska not far away in lane 2, but it does look like the Carnegie swimmer, Iona Kasapidis, perhaps just has the edge, but she needs a good finish to make sure of it. Ooh, got it by 100th only. I thought at the minute she might just lose it, but no, she got it. 36.31, and that's 2 tenths inside her entry time. Greta Samaska, 3 tenths inside hers, 36.32 and 36.47, third place there. So, well, really, really close.
Starts and finishes vital in these 50 metres. As you can see there, you don't want to be gliding in to that finish. You want to be just hitting it on a full stroke if you possibly can. Second heat is Ida Fergaman from Fareham, Rebecca Cole from Hamilton. 2 Bronwyn Payne goes for best in 3. Ellie Armstrong, East Lothian in 4. Leah Bullock, East Kilbride in 5. Perry Scobie, Stirling Swim in 6. Ellie Kennedy from City of Glasgow in 7. And Erica Watt from Heart of Midlothian in 8. It is maybe Bronwyn Payne from best in lane number 3. Also going well, Perry Scobie in lane number 6, and also Ellie Kennedy from City of Glasgow in 7. As they come into the final stages here, it is going to be 6 and 7, I think. Oh, and lane 1 also in the mix as well, Ida Fergaman. Lane 1's not easy for us to see in this commentary position, Duncan. We really need to stand up from our position here. And she nearly caught us out again, but not quite. Perry Scobie gets it. Great swim there from the lane 6 swimmer.
Tie for second there.
Oh, tie.
35.61. So line up for heat 3, Katie Simpson in 1, Katie Coventry in 2, Justin Brock in 3, Ailey Stewart in 4, Amy McLeod in 5, Marie Wood in 6, Lucy Nimmo in 7, Aoife Brooks in 8, 35.0 to 35.5 range of times. So more of a spread actually in entry times that we've seen in these 50s for a while. Katie Simpson off to a strong start in lane 1, so I'm going to have to stand up, it looks like, for this one. So let's have a look as they come down. Certainly pushing on nicely as well in lane 5 is Amy McLeod of City of Glasgow, and I think she's got the edge now. Is it going to be Amy McLeod? I think it is, from Katie Simpson rather, in lane 1. So that, I think, is the order. Now it's confirmed on your screen there, 34.28 for Amy McLeod. I think that's going to get her into the junior final, the 17-year-old. So nicely done, Amy. Entered on 35.0 to take that down to 34.2. Well, we talked about half a second in a 50 being a big PB. 8 tenths is massive. Yeah,
great swim there. Sidler's got another chance to improve that tonight, possibly. I think she's going to make that junior final.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is. I think they had to get under 35 pretty much to get there, and 34.2 certainly does that. So well done, Amy. I'm sure we'll be seeing you tonight. 800 freestyle is next up for the men. Just the one heat on this one. So sorry to spoil your fun, but only one heat.
Yeah, we'll keep a track on these swimmers. Fraser Tetlow was one that we mentioned before, having that tough schedule. We'll see Who else is taking the start for this one? Is everyone going to be there? I think we are going to have, the full 7 swimmers in this one. Robbie Thompson from Shetland in lane number 1. James Borey from Geary in lane 2. Fraser Tetlow from Geary in lane 3. Jack Simpson, East Kilbride in 4. Emmanuel Campi from Fareham in lane number 5. Thomas Swales from Nova Centurion in 6. And Orlando Deering from City of Peterborough in lane number 7. Again, it's see the spearhead forming in very early stages here. Jack Simpson's got the fastest entry time in 8:46.70, and Emmanuel Chiampi from Fareham in 8:58.12. We talked about the Danes before, Duncan, great supporters of these championships. I was trying to remember the other day when the championships kind of restarted. Is that around about a decade ago? Because they did hold it back in like the 80s and 90s. Then there was a little period where the championships didn't happen, but it was kind of resurrected, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Don't ask me. I should know the year, but don't quite have it in my head, I'm afraid. But
about
it's been
a decade
going for a
ago,
good,
wasn't
maybe
it?
14, 15 years. I think maybe a bit
Oh, more
longer.
than that,
Just because we missed a year during lockdown.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's well established back in the calendar, and with so many clubs coming from Europe now, I think it's now a firm feature in the swimming calendar.
And the big names as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we see Adam Peaty there, Duncan Scott, of course, a local swimmer, so it's no surprise to see Duncan Scott taking part of these championships. But I mean, we've got some like Kylie Mass now taking part as well, the world champion, of course. And in the past, we've seen big teams from the Netherlands who have brought their top swimmers here. The Swedish team has been a very successful team. And a couple of USA swimmers as well taking part, although they are based in the UK now. But it's good to see them here as well.
But when you look at the people who have the meet records, I mean, it really is a panoply of the greats of European swimming. When you see the likes of Pernille Bloom and Nielsen and Kromo Yo-Yo, of course, recently retired, but what a legend in the Dutch swimming. And it's absolutely stacked with great swimmers. Ben Proud, another one. And you mentioned Duncan Scott, Adam Peaty. So, all the stars of European swimming have been in Edinburgh over the last few years. But let's concentrate here, because Jack Simpson is really pushing this out, and he's up by 4.5 seconds already as we come up to 300. 17-year-old. We've been talking about East Kilbride. We saw Scott Fleming putting in some good distance swims, and now it's Jack Simpson's turn. He was third in West District Championships, went one better in the Scottish Summer Meet in Aberdeen last year, and going through 3:16.72. So he's pretty much on 68 territory. Can you do your maths? 5 times 68.
5 times 68, now you're testing
5:40. So we're talking about something just under 9 minutes if he can keep this going. He's entered 8:46, so we need to just pick it up perhaps a little bit to match 8:46. But it must be a disadvantage when you've got nobody pushing you on here. It really becomes you against the clock, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Concentrating over 9 minutes of swimming just to keep that stroke rate going. I guess you'll get some clues from your coach on poolside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you look at your coach on poolside a lot when you were swimming?
No, not really. It was quite difficult to see, I think. I was always in the zone when I was swimming the distance events. But, it's just a mind over matter, really. You always get told to swim your own race. Don't get sucked into anyone's other race plan. It's always a good idea to do your own thing. But sometimes when you're next to someone who's maybe just ahead of you, gives you that little bit of an edge. Certainly in the closing stages, if you're having a close contest, that does help you. And the bell has a good effect as well. When you get to that seems to give the swimmers an extra kick at the end. Looks like it's a big lead here for Jack Simpson. And just keep an eye on the splits. He's around about, 109, something like that, do you think, Duncan? He's so he is around about, it's going to be about the 9 minutes, almost exactly, if he continues this pace. A really close contest for second, though. James Body in second position at that turn, Emmanuel Griampi in third, and Thomas Swales in fourth position, but they are separated by around about half a second, the three swimmers. And also in lane number 7, Orlando Deering not too far behind and bringing himself back into contention, but they go over at the 500 mark again, 5:34.74, and continuing that kind of 109 pace.
Yeah, pretty steady on 109s now, with 300 to go. You certainly would expect him perhaps to pick up in the latter stages, and of course some people like to back end their 800s and try and negative split it, but we'll see whether Jack can do anything like that. Still that tight contest going on for second, just out of shot, but they come into your shot now, and you can see 3 of them there, and there's the 4th, all coming into the wall very close together. You see they're all on 6:17 to 6:18, just 3/10 between Thomas, James and Orlando, but well, they're all, you can see they're, what, 13 meters or so behind Jack Simpson. So there'll be 3/4 distance that they're coming to now. So another 109 would be 6:43 or thereabouts. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much on that, 6:44.35, so that was a 109.5. 35.14 for that last split, so on that sort of pace. You see the swimmer's slightly faster than behind him, but, well, they're not going to catch him with 200 to go with that size of gap unless he really implodes, and he's not showing any signs of doing that. If anything, you think maybe holding himself back, just that occasional burst from the legs, so you'd expect him to bring the legs into play once he's gone through the bell turn. 34.6 there, so still very much there on that 109 pace. James Body also 34.6, but he is, what, 8 and a bit seconds behind, but maybe just trying to open up a bit of gap on the others in that contest. There we can see the close-up shot on Jack Simpson as he comes up to 700 meters, and that invigorating bell ringing away. Let's see what his split is, 7:53.48, so that's almost exactly 69 there. So 100 to go as the race for second hots up. And there's still 3 very much in the mix. I think we might have lost Emmanuel Campi from that contest, but the other 3 are still very much involved as we come up the penultimate length. And Jack, now it's all about him and the clock as we come up to the final turn. It's going to be just under the 8:30, 8:27.98, so that was a 34.5, so expect him maybe to take that down, maybe 32, 33 sort of territory for this last length. Orlando Deering pushing on with a 33.6 there, just has the edge now on Swales and Body, and it looks like maybe it is Deering in lane 7 who's going to be good for second place, but well, let's see what Jack Simpson can come home in here. His legs not really pushing at this point, so obviously that's not a feature of his distance swimming, but he comes in to the wall right on the 9 minutes. You predicted that, didn't you, Paul, quite a while ago?
Yeah, I think both of us were saying it was going to be around about the 9 minutes, so we weren't too far away there.
Take a gold star. Orlando Deering does take second, 9:07.36 for him. And look at that, tie for third, 9:08.10. So we had a 800 free tie before. We've got another one. James Body, Thomas Swales. Take a bow.
Excellent, 9:08.10 in third place. Great swim from Jack Simpson at the front there. Just over that 9 minute mark. A number of dead heats here. You don't often see them in the distance events. Sometimes in the sprint events you might see dead heats. We've had a few swim-offs. Don't think we are going to get a swim off this afternoon, but you never know. We're into the final event, unless we do have a swim off, and that's the 200 freestyle for women. We have a mammoth 11 heats in this one.
Mammoth. 2 from Warren against 1 from Dumfries in this first heat. In the white cap, Georgia Dickey is the Dumfries swimmer, and then it's Kate Nolan in 4, Alice Perry in 5, representing Warrender. All these 3 swimmers, 2:17s. Good start from Alice Perry, very quick off the blocks there. Sharp off the blocks is always a good attribute if you get that fast response rate without obviously coming too early. And it looked like Alice Perry got that spot on, but now Kate Nolan settling into her swim is right there with her.
We're getting the reaction times on the board as well. Sometimes quite interesting to look at the reaction times when we get them on the scoreboard. There were some very quick ones yesterday, and I think one was a disqualification. I'm not sure if it was the start, but it was lightning quick. It was something like 0.25 or something.
Yeah, 0.25 does feel suspiciously quick, doesn't it?
Normally around about the 0.5 is pretty good. 0.6 and 0.7, you're kind of in that normal territory as they come up, these 3 swimmers, to the halfway point. Still a great contest here. As we said, all entry times in 2:17 range, and they've all gone within 0.35 of each other at that halfway point. Kate Nolan in the centre did lead them through. Is it going to be Georgia Dickey from Dumfries? Seen her on this side of the pool this time. I think she's had her previous races on the opposite end from us. Another tough schedule for the swimmers this afternoon. Georgia Dickey from Dumfries going very well here. Kate Nolan still has the edge, but just by 13/100ths of a second. Alice Perry not out of this one yet, but it does look like it's coming down to a 2-horse race as they come into the last half of this last 50 metres. It is stroke for stroke here. Alice Dickey and Kate Nolan. Georgia Dickey, sorry, and Kate Nolan going in 3 and 4. They are absolutely together here as they come under the flags. It is going to be all on the touch here, and it could be Kate Nolan into the wall. Is it? It is Kate Nolan by 1/100th of a second. Wow. Some close contests we are having here this afternoon. My goodness, Georgia Dickey in second, Alice Perry in third. Nearly gave Alice Dickey second place halfway down that last lane. Hedging my bets there, Duncan.
Yeah, merge the 2 swimmers. Yep, Katie Nolan taking nearly a second off her time that she did in this pool just a few weeks ago at East District age groups. So good progression for her. On to heat number 2. No swimmer going in lane 1. We have Caris Mooney in lane 2 for City of Glasgow. Diana Morrison of Morpeth in 3. Sarah Stewart goes in lane 4 for Mulgai and Bearsden. Gemma Brown of Carnegie in 5, where we saw her earlier in that tussle in the 400 IM. Tatenda Tayengar, Borough Stockton in lane 6. Safrina Machin, City of Glasgow in 7. Alex Coy of Warrender in lane 8. And Diana Morrison, 30.66, is the early leader from lane 3. Diana, Morpeth swimmer, just opened up nearly a body length advantage now. The others in a line across the pool. Looking pretty good here. Diana, 15-year-old, and comes through in 1:04.48, about a second faster than the first heat. You see there, 33.8, the only swimmer with a intermediate split there under 34. So building her lead to over a second now from Safrina Machin in second place, and then behind her is Tatenda Tayenga in lane 6. But looking good for the Morpeth swimmer.
Coming up to this final turn here, and Morpeth in pole position here with Diana Morrison, 139.99. We'll just check the splits here And Safrina Machin made a little bit of an inroad to the lead there, but just by 0.1 of a second. But she came off the wall pretty well here, and she is challenging Diana Morrison here. They go past the halfway point and into the final stages now. It is very, very close, but I think it might still be Diana Morrison just with the edge as they come in here. Safrina Machin is coming back with every stroke. It's all going to come down to the touch again. Another close finish. And it is Safrina Machin will take it. What a good finish from her. 2:15.84. 14/100ths of a second faster than Diana Morrison, who led right until the very last stroke with Karis Mooney in third position. A couple of good times there as well, Duncan.
Yeah, and really pushed it hard, didn't she, in that last about 60 metres or so, and she sort of turned it on and just had enough to take it in the end. Full lineup for heat number 3. Zoe Crawford of first in 1, Grace Noonan, Mulgine Bearsden in 2, Chase Stewart, Nova Centurion in 3, Grace Campbell of Portobello in lane 4, Amber Stevenson of South Ayrshire in 5, Freya Beaton from City of Glasgow in 6, Ariana Stokes of Morpeth in 7, and Louise Connell from City of Glasgow in lane 8. 2 times here, 2:13 up to 2:16, and good starts up at the top of your screen there. Ariana Stokes, the Morpeth swimmer, in lane 7, just ahead of Louise Connell beside her. Louise has had some good swims. Grace Noonan just behind them in lane 2. So the action at the moment in the outside lanes at the top of the screen and the bottom, with Ariana Stokes under the 30 seconds. The only one to do that.
Yeah, another good swim from the Morpeth swimmer in the early stages here. We saw Diana Morrison in that previous heat. And now we've got Ariana Stokes in this one as well, challenging for the lead. Louise Connell coming into the wall first, I think, at this halfway point. 3/100ths is the advantage there that she has over Ariana Stokes. Chase Stewart in second place. It's between these three. I think we saw Chase Stewart have that great battle a little bit earlier in this afternoon, and she's challenging for the lead here. Looks like these three swimmers as they come into this final turn, Duncan, but Morpeth doing well again in this 200 freestyle.
Yes, yeah, they are. Grace Campbell making a bit of a move in lane 4, the Portobello swimmer, pushing on, actually studying in Glasgow University now, but back swimming with her home club this weekend. And it is Chase Stewart, but not by much, 1:38.99. So has she got the strength to see this through now? Ariana Stokes was the early leader, and she is still in contention there in the red cap in lane 7. And Grace Campbell pushing hard in lane 4 in the black cap. Still up there, Louise Connell at the top of your screen. But as they come in, it is still Chase Stewart who is leading by around about a metre, and she'll take the win. 2:12.40, 3.5 seconds faster than the previous heat, and a good time for Shea. Entered 2:14.01, so it takes more than a second and a half off that. Ariana Stokes taking second, Grace Campbell just ahead of Louise Connell in third.
Yeah, it was a good finish there for Grace Campbell, and a good split for that last 50. As we move on to heat number 4 of the 11 heats, Charlotte Williams from Hatfield in 1, Katie Noble from Newcastle in 2, Abby Davis from East Lothian in 3. We have Kate Kennedy going in the centre lane, another Morpeth swimmer, this time in the middle of the pool. A couple of missing lanes here. We do have Orla McInnes in lane number 5. No Rose Gubbins taking the start in 6, but we have Stella McCarty in 7 and Adea Solaku in lane number 8. So no swimmer in 1, so no Charlotte Williams, and no swimmer in 6. Right in the centre of the pool here. Good start from Orla McInnes, but she is headed by Katie Noble. In the early stages there, 30.72. Orla McInnes in the middle, Abby Davis in between those two leading swimmers here. Entry times range from 2:12 to 2:13, so just over a second in between all the swimmers in this particular heat. Katie Noble from Newcastle, 2:12.89 was her entry time. She's gone out pretty fast there, 104.41. Davis in second now, just ahead of McInnes, but a good start from the Newcastle swimmer.
Yes, she's looking pretty good here, the 15-year-old. It's pretty much the same split as the last heat, so they finished off in a 2:12, so we'll see whether Katie can get in that sort of time. Entered 2:12.89, so she'd love to get inside that, but Abby Davis not too far behind her, the Slovenian 20-year-old. She is, what, about a metre and a half back as they turn for home, and well, Kate Noble's turning slightly faster though, 1:38.68. So let's see, that was now 3/10 faster than the previous heat. And it looks like she's got this one firmly under control now with Abby Davis. I think it probably has too much to make up. She's on the left on the shot of the two swimmers here as we come down towards the finish. And on the right, it is Katie Noble, the Newcastle swimmer, who is going to bring this one home. And you could see there the gap. Big finish from lane 5, Orla McInnes. And she goes past Abby Davis to take second in 2:13.74, Abby 2:14.33, but the winner, Katie Noble, she does improve on her entry time by over a second, taking the heat in 2:11.69.
Noble wins the heat. I like the sound of that, Duncan. My namesake taking that one. It's been a while since I've heard that. There is the lineup for heat number 5. Mia McLeod in lane number 1. I'll just check if everyone is taking the start here. I think we've got the full 8 here. Looks like we have Mia McLeod from Swim It in lane number 1. Cara Gordon from Stirling Swim in lane 2. Melissa Mainwaring from West Lothian in 3. Holly Robinson from Repton in 4. Susie McNair from Stirling Swim in 5. Ava Wilson from Newhall in 6, Ella Stevenson from City of Glasgow in 7, and Natalie Marshall from West Lothian out there in lane number 8. 2:10 to 2:12 is the range of entry times in this one. As they go over, just 4/100 separate Susie McNair and Holly Robinson. Two names, I think, becoming quite familiar to us this afternoon, Duncan. They've had a heavy programme this afternoon, those two, and have featured at the front of their heats on numerous occasions.
Yep, Susie McNair, very promising youngster, the Stirling-based swimmer, member of the Scottish junior team, national age group champion in this 200 freestyle event. We've seen her featuring in a number of junior finals, and I think we'll be seeing her again tonight. Wonder if she can make it into this one. She'll probably have to get sort of 2:09 maybe sort of territory. Entered 2:11, but she turns at the halfway 1:03.02, so that is faster than anything we've seen. And well, still the two of them, Holly Robinson right there with her. She did her time at the Deventio meet not that long ago, so a swimmer in form, maybe just has the edge in lane 4, but well, it's all going to be about what speed they can muster down the final length as they go through. Does look like Holly Robinson has the momentum though going into that. She's now half a second up, 1:36.63 against 1:37.12. Also pushing on nicely in lane 2 is Cara Gordon, another Stirling swimmer. Natalie Marshall of West Lothian up at the top of your screen, also in that contest for 3rd place, but it's going to be Robinson and McNair 1 and 2 here, and the advantage will go to the Repton swimmer, although it got close at the end as Susie McNair suddenly found another pace there, but not quite enough to get past Holly. Well, I said they'd have to get to 2:09, they've both done that, so we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, still plenty of heats to go though, so it's early days to be calling finalists at this point. But Holly and Susie, good swims.
I was going to say that Susie McNair has almost been making a trademark of that fast finish, as we've seen in some of the distance freestyle events that we've seen this afternoon and yesterday. She seems to be really strong at the end of all of our races. And as the next swimmers get ready for heat number 6, Kiana Kurtzer from Warren Debas in 1, Ashley Drake from Warrender in lane number 2, Zoe Giddon from Edinburgh University in lane number 3, Isabel Wood from Stirling Swim go in lane number 4, Mia Mason, City of Manchester Aquatic in 5, Phoebe Arbuckle in lane 6 from Warren Debas, Florence Tinsley from Stirling University in 7, Lucy Hitchin from Repton goes in lane number 8. The range of times, some of these entry times in the 209 range, so some juniors in this one as well. So we have Kiana Kurtz, 15 years of age, Ashley Drake 16, we go in 1 and 2, Mia Mason in 5 and Phoebe Arbuckle in 6, 17 and 15 years respectively. And Phoebe Arbuckle, of course, was the one who had that dead heat in the 800 a little bit earlier on. What she's got in this shorter distance. Halfway point, Florence Tinsley leads them through. Zoe Giddon, Ashley Drake, Isabel Wood, that's the top 4. Phoebe Arbuckle just behind that 4th position. It's a bit of a tussle in the centre here, Duncan. But the leader away and clear. I think Florence Tinsley's gone off very well in lane 7.
Yep, so it's the senior swimmers who are leading the way here, particularly Florence. So a 2:10 entry time for her, and you would fancy her to get under that based on her performance so far. She turns in 1:34.83, nearly 2 seconds faster than the previous heat. So you can see there are 32. So we're looking at 2:07 territory. Maybe if she can muster some extra speed, she could get inside that. Lane 3, Zoe Giddon, Edinburgh University is set for 3rd place, and then it looks like Phoebe Arbuckle, the youngster, will be the fastest of the juniors home, although Isabel Wood, although she's an 18-year-old, is close to her. But Florence Tinsley in lane 7 has bossed this one, and she comes in. That's a nice swim, 2:08.66, and improves by about 1.5 seconds on her entry time. So nice stuff from Florence. And Phoebe Arbuckle with a strong finish, 2:11.32. So that didn't match the 2:09s we saw from Susie and Holly in the previous heat. So we'll keep an eye on that, but 2:11s there. Probably not quite enough for a second swim for Phoebe, but we'll wait and see.
So we're into the second half, well into the second half of these 200 freestyles now. Catherine Renfrew from Perth City in 1, Anna Green from Warren Debas in lane number 2, Amelia Moole from Loughborough University in 3, Kirsten Powell from Millfield in 4, Hannah Hotchkiss from Repton in lane 5, Ailsa MacDonald from Edinburgh University in 6, Harriet Oxley from Repton in 7, and Charlotte Room from Derventio goes in lane number 8. So Charlotte Room and Catherine Renfrew on either side of the pool. They are 2 junior swimmers, as is Hannah Hotchkiss right in the middle there in lane number 5. Good start from Charlotte Room, that far lane from us, right up there in lane number 8. So entry time of 2:09 for her, and she's going to have to repeat that or get inside that, give herself a chance of a junior final. Well, another few heats to come, Duncan, as this heat hit the halfway point, and a few junior swimmers to come. So the faster they can go, the better chance they've got of making that final. Charlotte into second place now, just behind Ailsa MacDonald at the halfway point.
Yep, Charlotte Room is another one that we've been mentioning quite a few times. The Derventio swimmer is continuing to push on hard from the outside lane, but it's Ailsa MacDonald from Edinburgh University. A recent time hers, she did here at East Districts in February, and she is leading in the way, 1:35.04. Fairly similar split to what we saw from Florence Tinsley in the previous heat. She's, you would think now, is set for the win here, but it's going to be tight for second place. Charlotte Room going into the final length with second place. I think she's still holding it up there in lane 8, although Catherine Renfrew going pretty well in lane 1 and Hannah Hodgkiss in lane 5. It's definitely going to be Ailsa McDonald taking the win, and it will be Charlotte Room taking second. Very close for third there. Catherine Renfrew just coming in ahead of Hannah Hodgkiss. So let's have a look at those times. 2:09.85 for Charlotte, but the winning time, Ailsa McDonald's 2:08.27. So she improves on the time she did in February by half a second. So nice progression from Ailsa there. Heat 8 coming up. The lineup for this one looks like we've got an empty lane in lane 1 and in lane 7. So the lineup here, 6 swimmers. Falka Tind of Hovedstatens in 2. Mary Mischenko, the Ukrainian from University of Aberdeen, in 3. Emily Maxwell of Derwent side in 4. Maisie Gifford goes for University of Bath in 5. Lauren Bradley Holt of Stirling University in 6. And Sophie Main of Edinburgh University in lane 8. Pushing off well, Maisie Guilford rather, University of Bath, but in lane 5. But there's not going to be too much in it at the turn. You'll see 4 of them in the centre lanes, all turning much of a muchness. But Maisie Guilford, 29.76, just has the edge. That is the fastest 50 split we've seen. Lauren Bradley Holt, we saw her in the 800 earlier, slightly ran out of gas at the end of it. So let's see, we've got the recovery in for this 200. Also going well is the Ukrainian from Aberdeen, Mary Mischenko. Great to have some Ukrainian swimmers with us this weekend, really settling themselves into the Scottish programs. There's one Mary in Aberdeen, another one in Glasgow, but just 100th in it now at the halfway mark. Plenty of contenders here, Paul.
Yeah, certainly is. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swimmers still in contention here right across the pool as they come up to this final turn. Maybe just making a little bit of a burst there is Maisie Guilford. She will lead them ahead of Mischenko and Lauren Bradley Holt. Look at that split there. She's taken around about a second off the rest of the field there. She leads by about 0.8 now. Can anyone respond? Lauren Bradley Holt coming back strongly, 1 lane up from the leader now. But it is going to be Maisie Guilford. Is she going to hold on here? Here comes Lauren Bradley Holt with that green cap in the closing stages here. I think it is going to be Maisie who is going to get to the wall first. Good finish there from Maisie Guilford to take it. 31.58 for the final 50. Wins by about 0.8 of a second. Good last 50 from Lauren Bradley Holt to take her into second place. And it is Mary Mischenko for third position, 208.64. And Mischenko, I think, is the top of the juniors, so that might get her another swim, 208.64.
Yep, still some, 3 more heats to go, but that, as you said, is now the junior time to beat. There were 2 this morning that were faster than that, but that will put her at the moment in third spot in the junior contest. Heat number 9, Rebecca Reid goes for Aberdeen in lane 1. Nicole Dupre of Millfield in 2. Laura Stevens, what a 200 butterfly we saw from her yesterday. She goes here in the 200 freestyle, but swimming butterfly. I had been told that she was going to do that, and yes, she is, so that's an interesting one. Lane 4, Shian Gulland of Israel. Mari Craig, Edinburgh University in 5. Jill Nay Chung Tong of WVZ in 6. Sam van Noonen of Netherlands in 7. Emma Price from the Borough of Stockton in lane 8. And see there, Laura Stevens on the butterfly was leading at the end of the fly. I don't think she's leading now. It looks like Shian Gulland, because she'll lose quite a lot in the turns, I guess, in butterfly compared with freestyle turns.
What did she do last night? It was 207 last night, I think it was, in the 200 butterfly final.
Now you're asking.
I think it was a high 207, I think, possibly.
Yeah. Give me a moment. I'll double check that one.
So she's, you know, she's in her entry time. Laura Stevens is 207.1, so maybe it is a butterfly time, or you know, maybe she just prefers to do the butterfly rather than the 200 freestyle.
207.41.
There you go.
Very
Wasn't
good.
bad. Coming up to this last turn, the butterflyer, Laura Stevens, still very much in contention here. She does lose a bit the turns, as you said, Duncan. It's Sean Gilland and Mari Craig. Rebecca Reid also challenging Laura Stevens. But this is an incredible performance from Laura Stevens here. Good fight at the front of the field, but it does look like it's going to be Sean Gilland. He's going to be into the wall first. Mari Craig coming back strongly in the final few meters. Stevens, is she going to hold on for third? I don't think so. It's going to be fourth for her as Sean Gilland comes home in 205.12. Craig in second in 206.69. Rebecca Reid in third, 207.06. And Laura Stevens just half a second outside the time that she set in the final yesterday for a new meet record. Wow, 208.04.
Yeah, impressive stuff. Sean Gilland, the 16-year-old, that was impressive as well, 205.12. So she's now put herself in excellent spot for a place in the junior final.
Yeah, I don't think there's many juniors to come, Duncan. I think there's no one in this one, and there's only two in the last one, so that's probably a guaranteed spot for the Israeli swimmer.
Yeah, certainly looks that way.
There's a lineup for this penultimate heat, heat 10 of the 11 heats. One swimmer missing. In lane number 7, we have Hetty Damassa from Repton in 1, Alicia Dingle from Loughborough University in 2, Johanna Inker from Austria in 3, Molly McLaurin from Ireland in 4, Elena Morgan from Stirling University in 5, Natasha Simpson, Warren de Baths in lane 6. And Gaia Alcaraz from University of Aberdeen Performance out there on her own, the spare lane next to her in lane number 8. Johanna Inker, very good start. She has gone off very, very quickly indeed. We saw Johanna Inker swim this morning. Was it in the distance event, Duncan? I can't remember now, Johanna Inker. I'm sure we've seen her earlier today, and she's gone out with a massive lead there, 1.5 seconds ahead of Molly McLaurin and Alicia Dingle. Entry time for the Austrian, 206.48. Entry time for Molly McLaurin, 206.20. But this is an excellent display so far coming up to this final turn. It looks like Johanna Inker is away and clear at this stage. No one can catch her, surely.
No, it looks like she's going to demolish that 206. Entry time 132.22, so that was a 32. In fact, slightly less than 32, 31.79 for her third 50. So we're looking at sort of 204 territory, maybe less if she can pick up a bit more pace down this last length. So this is really strong stuff from the swimmer from Austria. Now 203.10 is the time for a place in the B final. She's just outside that, but a cracking swim, 204.66. Takes a good chunk, 2 seconds off her entry time. And that will put her probably around in the low 20s overall. So good, solid swim there from the Austrian swimmer Johanna Inker with a nice PB. One more heat to go, and we are done with the session.
Yeah, it's flown in this afternoon, I think. Freestyle for us to enjoy this afternoon, as well as some of the sprints as well. I think there's one swimmer missing from this final heat. Sophie Davis from Millfield goes in 1. One of the 2 juniors in this one. They're both on either side of the pool. Nicole Ricci from Edinburgh University in 2. Scarlett Orchard and Honey Osrin, Loughborough University, they're side by side in 3 and 4. No one in 5. We do have Anna van Droffelaar Netherlands in 6. Anke Jeroens from TSZ. Another Netherlands swimmer in 7. And Maria Romanovskaya, the second junior in this one from Repton. She goes in the outside lane and is featuring close to the front of the field, Romanovskaya, in the early stages, but Honey Osrin, Loughborough University, is going to lead them through that halfway point. So Honey Osrin swimming at Bucks, mostly in the backstroke events. We saw Honey Osrin had some success in backstrokes, turned her hand to freestyle.
Yeah, I don't think this is a major event for Honey, but she's showing some good form here. Pretty much the same split as we saw from Joanna Enkner in the previous heat at the halfway point. She's got a good solid lead here from lane 7, Anke Jeroens, and lane 3, Scarlett Orchard. So through the 150 turn in a 132.03, a couple of tenths faster now than Johanna Enkner. And as you can see there, a 31.7 split there. So we're looking at sub 204 perhaps for Honey, entered 205.61. So hopefully we'll get a good contest here. A good time, I should say, to finish off the afternoon. Pushing well in the latter stages, Anke Jeroens, and she takes a good second place behind Honey's 204.17. 205.08 for Anke. She's inside her entry time. Scarlett Orchard coming in for third. Her time 206.43. And that brings things to a close. Just checking on the juniors there. Sophie Davis 211. So that might be a little slow, but Romanskaya just missed her time coming up there. Just having a look, 207 for her. So she's in with a shot, I think, of another swim. But that's it. We are done. We'll be back just before 5:30. We come on air at 5:25. It's been a blast, Paul. Enjoyed it.
It's been good. Yeah, it's been a good afternoon session. Some good swims, good improvements, and some people progressing to the B finals, and lots of juniors progressing. So lots to look forward to tonight.
So we'll see you, as I said, 5:25 for a 5:30 start. But for now, from the Royal Commonwealth Pool, we'll wish you a good afternoon.